Hello, everybody out there on the streams, in the Twitches, and the internets. How are everybody and everyone doing today? Wow, I'm talking like a normal person, very much.
I mean, it was better than my idea, which was, "Good evening, you lovely denizens of the internet."
That's not our line. That's not either of our lines, is it?
I
Which is
mean,
why I'm here.
Oh. So, everybody, please welcome to the Girl Stream team, Cora and Nairi. Nairi, in particular, is of Friday Night History fame, and you can usually find her hanging about on uh, her Twitch channel, Riverside Wings, which we'll just do that. There we go. So you should all follow her if you're not already. And Cora is our group's resident poet, and Shay's just beaten me to the punch with that, so there we go. Um, but yeah, kind of riding the high from our Zelda stream on Saturday. No, wait, Sunday. It was yesterday. I'm sorry. I was scrundled then. I'm still scrundled now a little bit, I'm afraid.
it would make sense to be scrundled after all the sin I saw.
There was a lot of sin and a lot of bubsy feet.
Ugh. Ugh.
Well, how are you two doing, anyways?
I'm actually super jazzed to be here. Uh, I really love this game, and I really love hanging out with you.
Oh, hell yeah. That's what I like to hear.
And
Y'all are some of my favorite people, and it's nice to be hanging out and talking Ōkami and history and Shinto.
mhm.
Yes, yes, yes. We're getting highbrow on this channel tonight. We're actually going to be talking about a worthy subject like history instead of, our usual fall down on poop and fart.
I
I
mean,
mean,
Well, okay, fair.
there's a lot of that commentary on this in history as well. Like we were just talking about a shrine that parades a bunch of phalluses through downtown.
Like
yeah,
normal things.
yeah,
That's a festival, folks.
It's a good festival.
yes. Highbrow until Nairi finds a rant-worthy bit of commentary.
Oh
Hmm.
Yes,
yeah.
that usually happens on Tuesdays on my channel.
Yeah, and I'm generally there to clip that too.
Yup.
And I'm here too.
Hmm. And hey, Hungry Wolf Kitchen and Selena and Vera, it's excellent for all of you to join us here.
Yes, yes, thank you all for joining us. It's great to have you here.
So I guess I want a bit of a disclaimer out of the way here on my end. Is
Let's get our talking heads up. There
Yeah, yeah. Oh God, this game is gorgeous.
we go.
Okay, but uh, I my name is Zoe. I oftentimes go by Cora. These are interchangeable. That's fine. I am a member of Fushimi Inari Taisha, which means that I do practice Shinto, but I practice it in the context of one specific shrine and one specific sect of Shinto. And Nairi?
Same thing applies to me. I am, the term Shintoist is an umbrella term. It's a Western umbrella term. So for me, I am an adherent of the Hachiman faith. Specifically, I am a parishioner of Kameoka Hachiman Shrine in Sendai, the tutelary shrine of House Date, founders of Sendai. One specific shrine in one specific faith in one specific region of Japan. So I can't speak for all of, I can't speak for all of Hachiman Shinko and all of Shinto, obviously. It's we want to stay in our lane here. But that's just my particular religious affiliation.
And-
My academic background, some of you are already aware. My PhD was in Japanese history, and I am. I get asked sometimes, is the DR in front of your name on Twitter just for fun? Like, no, no. I sweated and bled and suffered for this.
Getting a PhD for jokes.
Yes, as a bit.
Mhm.
I decided to pursue a gender neutral honorific for the lulz.
That
Um,
said, I have taken the liberty of also accumulating a link tree for some shrines that you can reach out to and get in communication with.
Yes,
Okay,
most
and
of which are in English.
I should have probably shared the chat command with you all for that, which is
Resources.
Ah, wonderful, wonderful.
yeah, there we go.
Resources.
Resources.
This is mostly organized into like how you can find the top ones are ones that you can find reasonably. I opened up with Living with Kami blog because this is actually a good place to just start wetting your feet in period. Under that you have 3 shrines that are easily contactable within the United States, and one of them actually an affiliate of an entire sect of Shinto, Konko. Underneath that you have a small selection of Shinto shrines that are dear to us and other types of different sects of Shinto that are also available in English. And then finally at the bottom, some ones that are Japanese language only that are very close to Nairi and my heart.
Yeah.
Alright.
There
Shall-
are there are the endeavor of making reliable English, easily accessible material continues apace, but this is a beginning.
As it is. As is this game.
Yes, as is this game.
Yeah, I figure that we can do some preamble while the game's doing preamble.
And just, oh my god, I love the artwork in this game.
Is Hideki Kami the one that's got really weird on Twitter? Or is that someone else?
I think that's
Are you-
Hideki
Might you be
Namor.
thinking of Hideo Kojima?
No, Hideo Kojima was always weird. I'm thinking of the guy that's like tweeting about Family Guy funny moments and
Oh my god.
The Jet Set Radio guy.
yes.
You know.
Oh,
Now that you mention it, I can see a design lineage here.
Naganuma Hideki, so different person.
Different person. Okay.
I also enjoy the gentle banjo kazooieing that the dialogue gets.
I mean, I think that's like really clever. So we were just talking about this like barely off stream here, Nairi, about Orochi.
Yeah.
And do we just want to like dive our fangs into that, or because I mean that
This gets into some interesting and complicated stuff, folks. Let's put it that way.
By the way, Nari, how are you enjoying being a pog?
How am I enjoying being a pug? The experience is, as it were, poggers.
Good, you passed the test.
I am in fact an old, but I am trying to hip without breaking anything. I am in fact slightly more of an old because over the weekend was my birthday.
Oh, congrats. Happy birthday. Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Sorry. I mean, that was on Friday, yeah? The start of Oban and everything?
Yes, my birthday coincides with the start of the holiday of Obon.
Nice. What does that holiday mark?
The holiday marks the time of year when the spirits of the ancestors return to the world for 3 days.
Neat.
Um, so if you can think of like a Dia de los Muertos kind of deal.
Hmm.
And that's actually kind of how I was gonna say it. Like that's actually pretty dead on the head. I always thought it was a little more Buddhist, but I meh. But then also at the same question, what isn't?
Right?
Like okay, that's something that I am gonna just open up here with. It's just, folks, beware anyone trying to tell you this is just Shinto before Buddhism butted in there. Someone is trying to sell you something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what? Sorry? Who in the what now?
To say that there's such a thing, like for people to go on and on about, my version of Shinto is the more correct version because it doesn't have that corrupting Buddhist influence,
Hmm.
is loaded with, among other things, nationalist, anti-Chinese, anti-Indian sentiments,
Anti-Korean.
I see.
anti-Korean as well. Yeah.
Mhm. I
Which
mean,
is
like,
ironic. Which is ironic, given that your tutelary deity and mine came to Japan with Korean immigrants.
hey, but
Hey.
and for sake of this here, vocabulary time, everyone. Tutelary deity is oftentimes also just used with the word ujigami,
U being
and
god and Uji being clan.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Uh, I
So,
see Hungry Wolf Kitchen is just thank
in
you
rare form.
as always. But so the first part of this story is actually kind of retelling of Susanoo O fighting Orochi. And to preface that, Susanoo O got kicked out of heaven. We'll get back to that later.
Yeah.
And after he got kicked out of heaven, he was sent to Earth. And upon Earth, he wandered because it's just like, well, crap, I have screwed up big time this time, and I need to figure out a way to make amends. And again, I'm taking several major liberties here, folks.
That's
Amongst
fine,
which he
so's this game.
So he comes across a village that is currently dealing with this issue that there is a grand wicked spirit with 8 heads called Orochi, and it's a mountain spirit, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. And Orochi has said, "All right, here's one of my favorite ways to get a sacrifice. Bring me your prettiest girl so I can eat them."
Top 10 ways to get a sacrifice. Number 1 will surprise you.
Violence. It's often oh,
I can hear the Pro ZD character voice already. You won't believe. I said I wouldn't believe it.
but so like Sano was like, "Well, that's kind of messed up. All right, I'm gonna help you guys out because yeah, that's fucked up." And in his form, he dresses up as the sacrificial maiden, turns the sacrificial maiden into a comb, sticks the comb in his hair, and goes off with amazing sake, wonderful booze to get the snake drunk. The 8-headed snake, the 8-headed mountain spirit drunk. As as Orochi is drinking this, Orochi gets drunk because holy crap, it's good booze. And during the set time when the wicked spirit is drunk, Susanoo O then decides to decapitate each head and again, vastly abbreviated, save the day. I don't know.
You know, it's a good thing that we're doing this. We're doing this today because 100 years ago, when some of this was first translated into English, Basil Hall Chamberlain, who was one of the first translators of the books that collect some of this lore, didn't consider it to be safe for kids. So parts of the translation are in English, and then they abruptly veer into Latin, and then they abruptly veer back into English.
Isn't that because of the location basically that is shit pants?
That's one of the reasons why.
What?
There is a-
Excuse. I'm sorry. What?
There's a location in the book where this legend comes from also mentions a place where the armies somebody's army was fleeing in defeat, and the warriors in their defeat avoided their bowels, and so the place was known as Kusobakama, also known as shit pants.
Okay.
Which derived into the name Kusuba, which I think is the name of the place even today. But Basil Hall Chamberlain, like, takes that passage and, like, the bit that's about shit pant, like, specifically about, like, what does this mean and where does it come from, is in Latin, and either side of it is English. So no shit pants for you, kids. Yeah, the poop, the boobs, the menstruation is all the sex is all in Latin in the Basil Hall Chamberlain version. Basil Hall Chamberlain would we don't want to run afoul of Jeff Bezos, but Basil Hall Chamberlain kind of would take that to the extreme, I think. The purple-headed pros.
I mean, he's English, isn't he? Last name Chamberlain, he has to be English.
Yes.
English Puritanism strikes again, everyone.
Yep.
Oh, we're not even in the game major and we're already getting spicy.
Yes. Spicy.
I think Orochi there was wearing a date hat, a hate masamune, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
Had
The
kind of
crescent moon.
Yeah.
So the crescent moon crest. So my PhD was on the history of House Date of Sendai, and their legendary founder, 17th century founder of them, and at the clan's height of power, was this flamboyant pansexual internationalist badass by the name of Date Masamune, who you may know from the games, well, many games, but you might know him from Samurai Warriors. You might know him from there we go. Yeah, any number of things. Modern pop culture stuff. He's in Basara, but his helmet crest was a crescent moon, and one of the places where that has become, I think his armor has had an influence in terms of pop culture you might be aware of, even if you don't know anything about Japan, is his armor specifically was the inspiration behind Darth Vader's armor. Which I think it's still wild. Like, can you imagine, like, Darth Vader with the crescent moon on his helmet? Like, huh. Speak the words that I wish darkness unto the world.
I'm sorry, we're already there.
I'm remembering the Charlie the Unicorn bit. Yeah, darkness.
Oh.
That's not a moon.
So,
the style of this game really holds up. I just want to say. But go ahead.
Absolutely. Like, just everything. And with the HD remake, they add a texturing to it, and you're just like, oh, it's so fucking gorgeous. But like, okay. I like how this incident here also brings up the context of what impurities can look like, and I'm using the word impurities here because, I mean, the technical term would be what?
Kegare.
Kegare, yeah, thank you.
Kegare, yeah.
As you can tell, I'm still learning Japanese, and that is a...
Wow, it's rocks out.
So, Kegare is an important concept to bear in mind. Also, coming at Shinto from a Western POV, because in the West we have this idea of sin.
Mhm.
Shinto does not have sin.
Yeah.
Shinto has Kegare. Kegare is not sin.
And also, like, when I say impurities here, there's a lot of like Western baggage to that. Think of it less as like the impurity of the soul or anything, and more like pollution, like
Yeah.
things that weigh down upon you emotionally and physically at times.
Yeah.
And also, immediately we have to just address the wolf in the room, don't we?
Yes, we do.
I'm wanting to address the fact that her whole ass chest just kind of wobbled to the left and to the right for a moment there.
I mean, I'm into it.
So a word of context. This game abbreviates a lot of kami names, and we have complicated feelings about that, I think. But this particular kami who's called Sakuya, is Konohana Sakuya Hime no Mikoto. I know, very long name, but Konohana Sakuya Hime no Mikoto is the kami. I think her purview is like flowering things and fruiting things. Ergo, the generous chest. But
She's just blossoming.
her divine vessel. So a Shinto shrine has a thing that's a divine vessel. Most often it's a mirror, but it can be other things.
That chest is
So,
just going bananas. Look at it.
hey, boobs and Shinto have a long history.
Let me remind me after the stream to tell you about the time a war was stopped by a woman flashing her chest.
Okay, fair.
So the Shintai, the divine vessel of this particular kami, Sakuya, Konohana Sakuya Hime no Mikoto, is Mount Fuji.
Mhm.
Like, and a god does not always inhabit the divine vessel, but it is the vessel into which they can step into. One of the vessels they can step into if they want to like hang out in the human world.
Mhm.
So anyway, with that preamble, you were saying about the wolf in the room.
So, Amaterasu Omikami, her augustness, and we're going to refer to her as her augustness because that is a very polite way to do it.
Yes.
Her augustness has no real association with wolves, like at all. The reason why Amaterasu in this game is a wolf is because Ōkami is a pun with Ōkami. Wolf is a pun with great god.
Mhm.
That's the whole reason. I'm sorry, a bunch of furries. I have just ruined your illusions about Shinto divinities.
Like,
Get over it. Also, Oanari's not a fox. Fight me.
this.
Someone please clip that.
For a few weeks, and it's her Septemberness.
Oh, oh.
Man, okay, she does just have a peach cut out on her butt there. Also, my controller is vibrating like wild. Oh, God, that's why it's bouncing around. I forgot about this part.
I mean, I'm sorry, folks. I'm a terrible lesbian. If I was that size, yes.
Fair.
And this, folks, is the better version of Navi. The Navi that every Legend of Zelda assistant sprite wishes to aspire to. I know Isun is a reference, but I can't remember from what.
Isun is a reference to Isun Boshi, which is a
The poet?
it's a legend about this this tiny little guy who
Just
like
a little guy.
was only one sun tall.
Mm-mm.
So Isun. A sun is like an inch.
Right.
So little inchling is sometimes how you might see his name rendered. And Isun Boshi was this famous warrior, despite his size. So that's what we're getting here. Boshi is not the Boshi as in hat. Isun Boshi. The Boshi bit is actually Hoshi, which was a term, a historic term. Hoshi, like in a Buddhist context, is like a teacher of the Dharma.
Mm.
But like it can be used as a suffix on the name of like someone who's, particularly exalted or noteworthy, or otherworldly. Like Oni having Doji after their name. But we won't go there.
Yeah,
No, please go there. I'm very confused.
don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's a
Are-
long story.
Is this a cheating stream, or is this a just bring things up and leave Jack's dissatisfied and confused stream?
Okay,
Well-
so let me approach this in terms of Knoll. So the Knoll drama, which, despite the name, has a lot of drama. Knoll has these characters in it that are might be called forest spirits or mountain spirits, local. The Western term might be sprites. And one of the terms for that is doji. Doji is also sometimes translated as elf. I disagree. There is also it's also used as like a shorthand for boy or prince in some contexts. You might have seen, some of you might have seen like an automata of a little guy who draws a bow and shoots an arrow. The term for that in Japanese is yumihiki doji, a doji who draws a bow.
Just
So
a little
that's-
bow boy.
Yeah, just a little bow dude.
Mhm.
Some kind of special power.
Hmm.
A lot can happen.
What can happen when you're taking a nap? I nearly slept through the stream. And had to scramble to get everything set up.
Insert image of Snap flailing.
Mhm.
Okay, so actually another thing that I want to bring up here is this. Actually, I wonder if we can like bounce out for a brief moment here
Oh,
of this area.
or let's see. Yep.
Are we-
Camera
are-
controls.
Is our little poet friend gonna get pissed off at it? No. Okay, good. All right, so let's see how far back we can go here. Okay.
Gotta get the
Ow.
grand sweep of things.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Torii Gate, shrine
Big
with
tree.
uh, and at the center of the tree there, and like it lines up perfectly. So if you are walking dead center through the Torii Gate into the tree, you are entering into another world. And I think this is a reference here, and forgive me if I'm wrong, everyone, but the reasoning behind that is you don't walk dead down the center of a beneath a Torii Gate.
You do not.
It's
Correct.
it's the God's Road, the Kami's Road, whatever. I don't know.
It's not, I forget the Japanese term, but yeah, it's the if you bear in mind that the shrine is supposed to be the dwelling of the god, the god gets the middle of the road.
So you
Mhm.
gotta use
And
the tradesperson's entrance.
yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta keep to either side.
Yeah. It's just polite, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of times where that's a plot point in like anime and everything. One time that I think it was really beautifully brought up was in Konohana Kitan, which is really adorable. But that's besides the point. Let's progress the plot.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We are chewing scenery here now.
Yes.
I
I mean, leave it to us to choose scenery, huh?
Eh.
I made Amaterasu chase her tail for a bit, which is fine.
Speaking of mirrors, is Goshen time.
All right.
hmm I still love this. This is like
Okay.
a really cool idea.
So do you see? So I'd like to direct everybody's attention to the plant that's to the left of the mirror, with the little oval leaves.
Mhm.
That is a sakaki. Sakaki is a type of plant. The scientific name is Clayera japonica, and Clayera japonica um, are favored by the gods of Japan. They find it particularly pleasing, so it's a common offering in if you go up like into the inner building of the shrine and you like do a formal ceremony of some kind, like you're given one of these to like offer to the gods.
Mhm.
So so that's what that is. It's not there just for like flavor, like that. It's actually supposed to be on either side of the mirror.
And that's honestly, that's honestly something I need to put on my own Ōkami dama, but that's a different thing altogether.
Yeah, same.
trying to like source that on this side of the world is a little harder than it looks.
I can point you to a place where you can get it.
Neither here nor there.
Not the real one though, like an artificial
Like,
sakaki. But anyway,
is it related to bay leaves? Because it sure looked a lot like a bunch of bay leaves when you were showing me that.
good question. I'm not sure.
Well, you know what? I have the internet. Let me find out.
That chest
folks,
looks
if
mighty
you can-
tempting. Is soon
If
out
you
of
can see
context.
if you can see the horse up there on the top of the ridgeline, this is a haniwa. This is a type of pottery figure from the ancient days in Japan, and that could take any number of forms, including warriors and horses and houses. So we're going to see a lot of haniwa in this game. They offer a unique and interesting glimpse into things that would have been common in ancient Japan, like that would have been like pre 6th century, I think.
Do they
Joseph?
say that good luck is found in high places?
Yeah.
Wait, they do?
Uh,
Nairi, you can't just agree to any insane thing that I say. That's going to get you in trouble on this stream.
Also, I like the designs of the chest, but I never quite knew what they were supposed to be designed around.
Oh, I found a
mean-
magic Q-tip.
I mean, you could pun high with fortune.
You know what? That makes sense.
So is breaking those cool horse statues bad luck, or is that cool?
Not necessarily. I mean, my recollection is that They were conceived as a replacement for, like,
Regular horses.
yeah, for like live sacrifices when a sovereign was buried.
Well, here was me doing a jokey joke, and it's just like correct, actually.
I mean, to be honest, that's sometimes. Welcome to how like old religions work.
I mean, Jax, when you first attended one of my streams, you made an observation like that about a guy with arrows in his back, and it turned out that you remember back
Yeah.
plates and toxic masculinity. Yeah,
We die like men.
we die like men.
With arrows in our backs. Because we didn't armor our backs in case we needed to, turn our backs to the enemy.
So, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Brushstrokes have their own soul. This seems like a good point to introduce to y'all the concept of kotodama.
Oh, let me.
Please.
Okay, so Kotodama is really. It's quite literally the power of words here. And, like. I don't know the exact translation there, but I think. If you could help me with that, Nairi.
Kotodama?
Yeah, because it's two
wor-
words, isn't it?
Yes, word spirit.
Right. So, Kotodama, and the easiest way that I can explain this is simply put. Hey, do you remember when your mom used all three of your names here, your first, middle, and last, and you knew you were in trouble? Like, she's shouting across the world there, you, so on and so forth, get back here! And you felt death just crawl up your spine and grab you on the shoulder. That's a chunk of it.
This is also why we prefer to, for example, say Her Augustness rather than Amaterasu Omikami, because it's again, if you, it's like if someone was calling if someone was calling your full name, you'd notice.
Mm-hmm. And like to point out, this is also a common thing in like other like spiritual beliefs and everything too. Like you don't say I can't actually bring myself to say that word on stream because oh boy, that'd be recorded.
Yep.
There are certain witches who live out in the middle of the woods with huts that have chicken feet for legs, and we don't talk about them for good reason.
Yeah.
When you were talking about the penis hut, I was just thinking, Grandma's got on the property ladder.
Yeah.
But yes, this is the idea.
Mm-hmm. And while we were talking about Kotodama and everything here, we are now actually being introduced in the context of the Zodiac. And also just the fact that our protagonist's brush is their tail is a cute detail, and I love it.
Good. Fail.
Oh.
Hey, what's up?
I didn't even mean that.
Wee.
Okay, but hold on. Again, etymology, everyone. We're talking words here. Gami is also another way to say God here, like Kami.
Yeah.
Oh, so Yomigami. Is that just night god then?
Look at this friend's glowing orbs. They have so many of them. Hey, Foxy Furry.
Hey, Foxy.
Anyway, do go on.
I mean, that's also like the complicated thing about translating words from Japanese into English, because kanji have multiple different meanings, but also sound quite similar.
Yomigami. I don't know what they're going for here. And sometimes if I see the kanji, I can make a better approximation. But like, yeah, this particular kami is apparently a dragon.
That became a constellation. Man can relate.
mean, I'm not weighing in on that. I know what you're trying to do there. I see you. Don't.
I'm just saying I'm a big, bright, shining star.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something involving V. Hey, is the adult like tag on this stream by any chance?
You know, it's the usual thing that we usually go through in our rules about the horny.
Yeah. Okay, moving forward. And
Uh,
Foxy, I don't know what kind of playthrough this is going to be.
Yeah,
This is a partially educational playthrough in that we are bringing our um, perspective as people whose religious affiliation overlaps with some of the things that are depicted in this game, and in my case, also my academic training overlaps with a lot more of what's depicted in this game, and we're sort of bantering as we usually do.
Mhm.
that means that sorry, they're bringing their perspective. I'm bringing my I'm-
Puns.
Your
yeah.
charm and your puns.
Well, like you're wet. You are actually a very witty person, my
That's
beloved
fair.
are.
sister.
That's fair. Arr.
You are.
But yeah, this is definitely a not fast playthrough. This is going to be, we're gonna honestly just casual play and chill and use it as an excuse to talk about you know, the stuff that my dear friends here educated in.
So when we say the sides of it, Jax, you don't need to go around it. You just go towards one side of the pole or the
Look,
other.
no. I just spotted a spot where I thought I could soft lock myself, and I decided to just nuzzle my way into it.
The inscription on the stone reads Amanogawa, River of Heaven.
Ah, well, this is purportedly.
River of the Heavens.
River of Heaven is the Japanese term for the Milky Way.
Ah.
Wait, so the Milky Way's busted, and we gotta fix the Milky Way.
Yeah, fucking King of all Cosmos did it fucking again.
Cosmos. And here I thought this was Ōkami, and it turned out to be Katamari.
Da-da-da-da. Are we doing Katamari tomorrow?
Probably. I think. I may do that or something else. I'm still kind of like burned out on Pokemon. But like, yeah, it might be Katamari or it might be Onimusha Tactics.
Hmm.
What I really want to know is who's on first. Did I draw enough Stardust? I didn't realize I could draw.
Drop more.
I need to draw more of it. I mean, that's a cool detail. On the one hand, that you can, you know, not draw the whole thing if you really want to.
Mm-hmm. Also, I guess this is also a good time as any to bring up the fact that a lot of these zodiac spirits are based. Well, we're talking about the zodiac spirits and everything, and there are 13 of them. We'll get to that. But the 12 are based around the Chinese zodiac, and I am not going to name them off the top of my head because I don't have that kind of memory. I barely remember the Western zodiac that well.
Ah, I obtained another stomach.
Huh.
Okay, so rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig.
Not to be confused with the 4 benevolent animals.
Mhm.
Okay.
Jakko, Genbu, Seiryu, Suzaku. White tiger, black tortoise.
Vermilion phoenix, and azure dragon.
Yes, thank you.
And
I like turtles.
so
And that's a callback.
It
Hmm.
is. So,
So what's the benevolent animals?
So the benevolent animals are not the same as the zodiac animals. The benevolent animals are the guardians of the different compass directions.
I see.
turtle for the north, phoenix for the south, dragon for the east, tiger for the west.
Yes.
And this is again also leaning a lot heavily on Chinese Taoism. Taoism, right?
Yes.
As are the zodiac animals, because these are also just constellations in the sky.
Again, if anybody's trying to convince you that there's such a thing as um, uh, uh, Japanese folklore and esoterica that has absolutely no Chinese influence whatsoever, don't believe them. They're trying to sell you something.
I mean, unless it's like Ainu, and then that's complicated because.
Oh man. Oh man.
Somehow I knew you would bring that up.
Hey, so note the shape of the signboard or the notice board. This is a common shape of signage in historical signage in Japan. In the old days, like before 1871, government notices would get posted on boards that looked like that. I have actually seen one before, like a real one before, and yeah, they were made to last.
Nice. So another thing that we're also going to bring up here is that we're entering into a shrine dedicated to Nagi. Okay?
Yes.
And in story, Nagi is the first human who beat the living hellfire out of Orochi.
Mhm.
What that is, though, is also Nagi. Oh, hey, Dongo.
No,
Uh-huh.
no, dumplings.
No.
No,
Dongo
it's
is
doughy
a
balls
type
made
of.
from grain. You can see. It says right there. Don't argue with it.
I'm going to bite you.
But it says it in the game's text, therefore it must be accurate.
Oh, I'm gonna bite you so hard.
Just real quick before we get back into Nagi, absolutely, Foxy. Like, platinum percent of this game is wild. Like, I've avoided watching any speedruns of this so far because I've still, you know, not fully played through it. So
Really?
yeah.
I mean, here we are.
So, Nagi in this case, and I'm going off an assumption here, is shortened from Izanagi,
Yes.
one of the creator divinities.
Yes.
And I'm like, you can't just do this to me, game.
Yeah.
You know, speaking through gritted teeth, just glaring at it like, are you for real right now? You see, and if you haven't noticed, we crossed into heaven! Someone please clip that shout.
Which one? The crossed into heaven bit, or?
Yes.
I really need to have a clipping button on this thing. Oh well.
Yeah, you do. So,
Half a day? Oh my god.
wait, that's how long a platinum speedrun is?
Oh, I found the Bork button.
Ah, yes, a useful button, the dedicated Bork button. I mean, if you're going to be playing an animal, you need to have that kind of button.
Animal. Okay, so the game is rather strongly hinting, hey, go use your fucking magic brush to make sword good.
Mm-hmm.
Whoosh.
Okay. Huh.
12 hours plus for one run. I mean, hats off to folks that do that. What's that? I've seen folks do speedruns of wilder games as well that take like 48 hours plus for a single run, and I can't think what the game was now, but
Oh, hmm. Let's save that till we get the next weapon.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I just thought up of another thing that I also wanted to bring up, but we'll get to that. And Nari, I think you know what I'm going to be talking about, but not right now.
In this,
But Easton's kind of a dipshit, huh?
yeah, he is.
I mean, yeah.
It was
Also, just
some
the
other
art in this game is really cute.
Yeah. It was some other game that I can't remember right now that just ridiculously long to 100% it, and for the life of me I can't think what it was.
Also, I think this one is a pretty simple, straightforward read of Tachigami or Sword God.
Yes, Sword God.
Hence the big ass sword.
Right, right.
Though I don't know, I never quite understood why it's the rat.
That is strange.
Watch, we're gonna like do a little bit of research, and both of us are just gonna end up texting the other all caps, screaming, "This is the reason why!"
Meanwhile, I'm gonna be over here being blissfully ignorant.
Huh. Comrades in arms, comrades in weirdness.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, I've
WYRDNESS, I think.
By the by, I have overhydrated, so I'm going to redeem some bits for us, so y'all can hydrate while I dehydrate.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Those aren't bits, those are beans. Those are bits, I'd be making money off of this. Hello, children. It is I.
Hello. Also, hello, Squeak. Good to see you.
Yeah, hello, hello.
So, a word about the straight-edged sword. The common motif of Japanese swords in pop culture is the curved, katana, tachi, bakizashi, that family of blades. But this is an older style of sword, and you will sometimes see it come up in Buddhist iconography in Japan. And of course, as we've been saying all this time, there is a lot of cross-pollination that happens between Buddhism and Shinto. So, but the one of the particularly famous types of straight-edged blade is a blade called kurikara, which is sometimes seen in the right hand of Fudo the Immovable, who is this fierce guardian from Japanese Buddhism, who holds a sword in the kurikara in one hand and a chain in the other. And kurikara is supposed to cut away affliction.
That's cool.
One of these days, when I actually have the money for a tattoo, I'm going to be. That's one on my list.
Straight edge sword.
Yep. To remind me that the power to cut away affliction is in my hands all along.
Isn't it also going to be a flaming straight-edge sword?
That's that's the other thing about kurikara. Kurikara is a sword of flame.
Okay, I don't know what these imps are based around, but I like them.
The kanji say fear, no good, evil.
Wait till that one is dead, then power.
What?
I was gonna teach you secret tech.
Oh. Okay.
So, there's like a secondary economy in like fighting these things, especially with the imps and everything. If you can beat the crap out of them, and then cut them in half when they are dying, because it will just like give you this big dramatic like death scene for them.
Oh.
Which I find satisfying. And if you cut them in half at that time, they will drop a demon fang. This demon thing can be redeemed for goods and services.
Ooh. Flaming straight-edge sword is used by Zippo McFlametrix. Is that a Blazeball person? Because that sounds like a Blazeball name.
No, it's a desert bus joke.
Oh, yes.
Right now, right now. The guy who is falling.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's all about timing with that one, unfortunately. Also, Xylet's... I can have words with you. Don't make me have words with you.
no gods, only Blazeball.
Hey, it's a good song.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. There's some propaganda going around lately that snaps are actually quite small, and I wish to dispel that because I am very large.
Jax is an outlier and should not be counted. But I just love this game. This game has sparked a lifelong fascination within me. And honestly, it's just pretty, it's fun to play, and God, just everything, even the loading screen, which is built around a honk host amp.
Just a thought, actually. I enabled the loading screen minigames. So, yeah, there was an option in one of the menus when I was testing this the other day that's like, loading screen minigames, off or on? And I'm like, on, please?
Wait, there's loading screen minigames?
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
That's outrageous, I love it.
Sure.
Huh.
Doesn't seem to be right now, but
Yeah. But
press X, next loading screen. Okay.
Oh yeah, I bet you did, son.
I'll be right back. I have to just say something.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna just, okay, I don't think I can get into the options from here. Oh, there's the options. Okay. Let me just double check. Oh, minigames are off. Why do I ever have minigames to off?
There we go.
Set minigames to on. Set video games to yes. Exit options. There we go.
Video games equals very yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well,
I mean, video games are actually a useful tool to teach a lot of things.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly.
Oh, hey! Excellent timing! We get to talk about funny hats.
Funny hats. Oh,
What?
hey.
What?
A komuso.
If memory serves, this guy is a wandering monk.
Yes.
Huh.
Komuso are monks who are wandering, who wear that particular kind of hat. They come from the Fuke sect of Buddhism, and their whole shtick is going around and playing flutes.
Why do they wear that hat? It seems uncomfortable.
So, in Japanese headgear that is made out of like straw, like that, or like just the conical peasant hat, or sometimes the other riding caps that would have been worn by warriors. It's not just the hat. There is like a superstructure underneath, or a substructure underneath the hat, with like cloth bits that go around your ears, and then a chin strap that you tie. So it's a little bit unwieldy, but not quite uncomfortable. I think it's sort of a cutting off distractions kind of deal. Like, look at me, I'm still disciplined, despite everything.
Also, take a look at that save mirror.
Oh.
Yep.
This is actually a lot more what you'd see, like that's.
Yes, as soon as the Navi of the game.
I'd honestly have to say like this looks like an actual shrine, or even like. I mean, I don't want to say Kamidama because it seems too big to be a
Too
Kamidama, but
big to be a Kamidana mirror, but yes, you would see
yeah,
something like that at a shrine.
yeah.
If you can, Jax, if you'll note the sort of gray face with the red red bib, red kerchief thing.
Yeah.
Jizo.
Yes, Jizo.
Mhm.
Jizo is a bodhisattva
I thought that
who
Jizo was
is
from a different religion, though.
So technically, yes,
Jizo
Jizo
Purisu.
are. are
Jizo Christ.
oh
Yes.
yeah.
Oh.
Jizo is a guardian of the crossroads, and he guides lost souls.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
Let's see.
aren't they also like children's guardians too?
Yes, but more often with associated with stillbirth.
Mm, uh, mm, mm, mm.
Yeah. I want one of those umbrellas. I've wanted one ever since I visited Kyoto.
Uh,
If
Because
Kyoto.
reasons that Korra knows.
I mean,
Yeah.
Xylats, if it was two Zeds, it would be a distant relative of Lizzo.
I mean, if it was two Z's, then we would have to have a conversation about Nagi, but and the jeweled spear of heaven, but that's not quite germane to the discussion here.
Okay, I know that we allow horny, but I think talking about Nagi's jeweled spear of heaven is a bit.
So we've established that Nagi is
The creator deity.
yeah, Izanagi no Mikoto, one of the creators of one of the two creators of the world. And so the legend in Kojiki goes something to the effect of once upon a time, Izanagi and his wife, the queen of the underworld, whose name I'm not going to say out of respect.
Oh right, that's.
They did a big fuck?
Held council on the.
Oh.
Well, yes, but like.
That's later.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right, but wait for it. Held council on the bridge of heaven and looked down into the brine below and said, "Is there not a country beneath?" And thrust the jeweled spear of heaven into the brine and stirred it, and then withdrew it, and drops of brine
Whoops.
fell from the tip of the spear, and congealed to form the first island.
Hmm.
Also, this is like a very. This seems this is a normal kitchen setup.
Yeah,
Correct.
for cooking oranges. Just regular.
Just your average, your average like commoner's house.
I mean, honestly, if the guy wants to cook oranges, let him cook oranges. I bet they taste fine.
This is some big
Yeah.
oranges.
Oh god, we're in Satsuma's domain.
Hashtag North Star forever.
Hashtag North Star forever. and for clarity's sake, Northern Alliance Japan.
Yes.
Yeah, there's Northern Alliance. Okay, cool. I've got an arrow now. Okay, back up the mountain. Back to the sacred deck.
That's a good comparison, Xylets, actually. That's a very good comparison.
What is the coyote saying? Oh!
Can I just kind of... Should we do the pond a little bit?
Not yet. Eventually, but not yet.
So, if you'll note the ropes that are cordoning off uh, the deck, they have the little white zigzags on them. That denotes a sacred space
Ah, okay.
with the paper streamers hanging off of the ropes.
Okay, I did wonder.
Yeah. If you remember on the tree we were at earlier, there was ropes going around the tree with the white zigzags.
Mhm.
Same idea. If you had that kind of power from the start, that'd be different. Well, as
Wait.
it so happens.
Hey, I didn't. I held the button. As soon, don't you criticize me for accidentally drawing a star.
The kanji there said radiance.
On one end, I do. I love how this game is, but also at the same time, there are some uncomfortable things about the sunburst, isn't there?
Yeah, the sunburst has some very nationalistic connotations, doesn't it?
Yoko. What was that word?
I don't know. Neither does the audience.
Well, okay, so
I'm gonna take
Thank
a
you,
sip.
Xylots. Hydrate.
we're gonna just take a brief moment here to do. Uyoku just literally means right wing.
Okay.
Yeah. And
That
this is
wasn't so
something-
bad.
this
You can
is-
talk about that.
This is something that, as with paganism, I think worldwide, Shinto in some circles has a right wing, has a nationalist fash problem. That is something that people really need to wrestle with, even practicing outside of Japan, because sooner or later it's going to come up, and if you help facilitate spaces that people like, even online, that people talk in, people interact in, you need to be like really aggressive about like that shit is not going to fly.
And like all three of us are furries. We all seen fash furries, and
Oh yeah.
Make your spaces toxic for fascists. You're saving your queer people.
Yes.
Okay.
Bear in mind the words of Karl Popper. I think it's like the paradox of tolerance, he called it, where
Yeah.
in order to maintain tolerance, you have to be intolerant to the intolerant.
Exactly. And I I love that. The teeth are kind of weird though. I wish they didn't animate the teeth.
Yeah.
What a normal, regular wolf.
Normal, regular wolf, says the man about to have his face eaten off by a wolf.
I wonder, does this man have a shimenawa, that rope around his neck? Yes, his neck is sacred space.
Well, his body's a temple. It's old and crumbling.
Those are monsters with the katakana letter I on them.
Oh,
For some reason, I have no idea.
like as in me, myself, and I, or
No, just like the letter I. It's the sound E.
Ah.
My trusty sword, Genko Maru. Oh, please.
Yeet.
Yeet.
Okay, so when you kill one of these guys, they're gonna do a big, dramatic pause, kind of thing. Right now, hit the brushstroke and then cut that guy in half. See the little blue thing?
Neat.
In demonic hatred. If you'll note, when you draw the brush stroke and you cut the enemy, the kanji that appears in black is kiru, to cut.
That's cool.
Now,
I would-
why on earth the game's unit of currency is yen? I don't understand.
I mean, yen.
That is not a. It's not a historic unit of currency.
Well, it's okay. We're not in Japan. We're in Nippon.
Oh
according to the
my
game.
god.
The game specifically said Nippon, which is clearly a different place because the name for Japan in English is Japan.
I'm going to bite you. I'm going to bite you so hard it will break skin.
Should be Gil or Zenny or something. Yeah, you're super right, Silas.
I am going to bite you too, Xylitz.
Zenny would actually be closer because zenny is the old term for a copper coin.
Oh, huh.
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it?
And zenny is also the old euphemism for like just as if like in English we would say cash.
Mm.
The other bit of trivia I can point out with zenny is that in contracted form it's sometimes zeniko, like bucks.
Touching.
He thinks you're a regular wolf.
A regular, ordinary wolf.
Regular, ordinary wolf time.
Pats Vera on the head. Okay, so I didn't actually know that Zenny was an older term for,
Yep.
well, copper coins and cash in
Yeah.
general. Like,
Cash,
that's kind of cool. That explains why it's used a lot in JRPGs.
So if you're familiar with like the East Asian style of coin that has this square hole in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
that's zenny.
Okay.
Okay, so I love this because now it's just prompting us to like find some animals and feed them food.
You could give it to animals.
Mm-hmm. And
Huh?
I'm sorry, I'm just getting distracted by Usin bouncing.
Boing, boing,
Yeah.
Boing, boing. I love the
Boing,
sound
boing.
effects, but like, do we want to talk offerings?
I want to just
Offering.
I want to just talk as well. How's our audio balance, by the way, chat? Because
Yeah, how are
that's
we
a good
doing?
point.
like hopefully we good, but
Oh man, so that's.
Okay, like at the threat of sounding like echoing and everything. Ooh. Good old good old audio jamming. It sounds like we're okay.
okay, good.
Yeah.
No, I've been paranoid about that because we had a stream a while back. I think it was the Sonic 2 stream where only after we'd wrapped up the game or were very close to wrapping up the game, someone said, "Oh, you have the music and the audio on? Oh, it's very quiet." And I'm like, Why didn't you say something?
Oh my god, that hurt my
Seriously.
soul.
Seriously.
I mean, like, it's not
Oh.
necessarily the duty of chat to, you know, be our quality assurance, but at the same time, it's always nice to
Yeah.
hear when something's
Mhm.
fucked up.
Okay, so going back again on like offerings and everything, it's
Yeah.
I always found this like very pleasantly indicative on how some of the mindset of offerings should be. Like you are giving unto the Ōkami, and you are then afterwards cooking your rice, drinking your water, using your salt for your own purposes.
Yes.
And this is again a Shinto thing here.
Yes.
There, like with heathenry paganism, which I have some experience with. You don't do that.
Yeah.
You
And-
just kind of toss the offering.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. I think you maybe missed a little context for a lot of folks there. So, when you're making an offering in, well, in Shinto
Well-
circles, what do you do?
Oh.
Well-
Go ahead, Nairi.
So this is a good question because this has actually come up in some of the circles that Cora and I have run in over the years, where people sort of take they misunderstand that they seem to assume that there are no constraints whatsoever on what you can offer.
And there are.
And there are particular things that particular deities prefer. The standard offering in our experience, and there may be exceptions to this, but the standard offering is bare bones. You're going to do rice, water, and salt.
Mhm.
Sometimes sake also.
Well, like every I think every divinity likes a good bit of to raise the rest, let's say.
Yeah.
But-
specific divinities may also have other preferences. Sometimes, if you have, what you have, and you're offering it with sincerity, and you really don't have anything else, like that's also, that is also considered acceptable. But like, rice, water, and salt, and sometimes sake are the baseline.
And in some this is a difficult one to actually navigate, because if I say this wrong, Merpface is going to manifest from somewhere and bat me with a fan.
I'll protect you.
But with regards to actually making the offerings, from context, it sounds like you offer it up and then just kind of use it afterwards? Question
Yeah.
mark? Okay.
That's it. Yeah, like in my own practice here, and this is again my own practice, as in Nariteisha Shinto, as done by Cora. I tend to awful. Ooh.
I tend to awful. That's my job.
Anyway, I tend to also offer incense. Oh no, that's adorable! Dog paws! Heck!
No flaws, puppy paws.
Anyway, now that's a lot of contextual things there, because again, there is a lot of Buddhist ties to my Ujigami. And it's pretty traditional to do, like, incense offerings for Buddhist divinities and so on and so forth. Am I getting that right, Nairi?
Yes.
Okay.
You can't offer incense to any Japanese god, you can't offer it to all of them. They don't all like it.
And
If the deity in question has a particularly close history of being sort of intertwined with Buddhist practice, you can offer incense. How do you know? Well, because there's their shrine gateways, I think, tend to be red, is one way of telling.
Also, of note on that end, like the emoji, the Shinto shrine emoji, which I think is just like ubiquitous these days. Like, who doesn't know about that, right?
Yep.
And again, I'm also double checking this before I get put my foot into my mouth.
Hayabusa.
Hayabusa.
Is that Is that funny?
A dog named Falcon.
Yes, thank you.
I see.
The Shinto shrine emoji there is a Torii gate, and if I'm reading this correctly, and I'm looking at the Emojipedia here, it's a Nariteisha Torii.
Correct.
Black top and black post holders.
Yes.
Also, you can ink that woman to get yourself a little more time before she hits you.
Ooh. Good to know.
Get
So
her.
yeah, there are
Oh!
constraints
Oh god!
that
Oh,
retail-
I murdered her!
Are you kidding me? It takes a lot more than just one cut to kill a woman that angry.
There we go.
So there's a term. Since you mentioned making the offering and then cooking with it.
Mhm.
In a shrine context rather than a home context, the term oh chankla the term for that is naorai. So
Hmm.
so you yeah there will be like a service where the priest will make like a big offering of different foods and different things to the god, and so there's a ritual, and then the shrine staff and the lay volunteers um, will um, uh, will cook with that stuff, and the parishioners will have a meal that sort of by having offering the like just in that context and in the context of home offerings, um, by doing so you're sort of symbolically reconnecting yourself with both the land that gave you the food, but also the god that you offered the food to, and as a community.
Well, you restored something. I don't know what you restored.
Her
Speaking
sense of
of-
purpose.
Speaking of, I need to see an emperor about a restoration. I will be right back.
Okay, have fun.
Still one of my favorite jokes that we ended up coming up with.
It's excellent. Hey, Ivano. Oh, ooh, yummy.
Grav, take it to the kid. Screaming. I have no.
That's...
And that's the joke, Xylets. Also, the Meiji Restoration is a Meiji Revolution. Bite me. I'm doing pretty well, Vano. It's good to see you.
He's doing good.
I'm hanging out with Jax and my friend Nairi. These are two really cool folk.
I got faith? Oh, wow, the kid just kind of vanished for a moment there.
I mean, I think it's less faith and more praise, and
The kanji that radiate out in that moment say joy. So the one that's 32 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right, it does. How do I know that? Let Hayabusa go. We have plot to advance.
There we go. Whoa! Oh.
I mean, would you want to hang around the person who just, like, abducted you and paraded you around by your scruff?
I mean, it seems like yes. Oh, look. You know, this person must be really good at what she's doing because, just look at her. She's outstanding in her field.
Now, folks, you'll recall that when Korra related the story of Susanoo no Mikoto fighting the serpent, Shay mentioned Kushinada Hime, who was going to be offered to the serpent. This is
Foreshadowing.
Kushinada Hime.
And speaking of Susanoo, like, oh wow, how do I even begin with that?
Great. I just caught sight of Isun calling our protagonist Emmy.
Mm-hmm.
I love this game, but at the same time,
It's a little unusual, but he goes around with a huge sword.
mm-hmm.
Susano. You know, he gets a bad rap.
He really does. Like,
He just missed his mother. Really,
mm-hmm.
you know.
Oh, are we gonna be talking about why he got kicked out of heaven?
Drunk and disorderly.
Are we going to? Are we? Yes, that's the
Yes.
short version. But like, are we going to? We want to stay within the. We want to stay within the bounds of. Ooh, that's a broken water wheel.
Oh yeah, let's fix it.
I think you need to be outside to fix it.
Oh.
Grab one, Gary, though.
everybody
Ooh.
loves a jelly donut.
Damn it! You got there before me.
Yeah.
Oh, why do you do this to me, Nairi? Why do you do this to me, Jax?
Is that the loading screen minigame? Just putting no flaws puppy paws on the screen?
If so, I don't care. That's amazing.
Oh, I just ate a bale of rice. Yummy.
Everyone loves a jelly donut.
I mean, realistically, I don't like jelly donuts at all.
Okay, there's one that's button mashy and there's one that's timing, I guess.
So, Susano, the thing with a lot of these stories is that they get very raunchy, very bloody sometimes. So we want to stay within the realm, within the bounds of the channel rules and also
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos.
So, I guess in a less after dark here. The reason what happened is that Izanagi's wife died in childbirth. Okay, and Izanagi goes to the underworld trying to rescue her because I mean, hey, this is it's pretty archetypical for these kind of stories here, folks. And shenanigans happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very polite way of saying that, isn't it, Nairi? But in more context here, Izanagi is unable to get Izanami out of the underworld, and there was a bit of a divorce issue. We'll just be polite about it. And eventually, Izanagi came back up and said, okay, I need to just get my affairs in order because I think I screwed up. Also, I blame this game for some of the bad rap that Susanoo gets.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And just headbutt him.
Oh.
Boink.
Also, that's interesting. The loading screen mini games do reward you with demon fangs, so that's kind of cool.
Really?
But they also, on this version, because this is a game that was originally made for the PS2, now running on modern hardware, so loading times are stupid short. They've apparently increased the loading times a little bit to make those mini games actually, viable. Even so, I don't think I can necessarily button mash 50 times in the short loading screens that we've had.
Okay, so as such, Izanagi says to his kids, "Okay, Amaterasu, you're in charge. You figure out what else to do here. Also, power slash the scroll there.
Oh, that
I
seems
know
disrespectful, but...
there's an Easter egg.
Okay.
Oh, a mighty warrior with his mind single purpose to... Nah, he's just a big softy crushing on the local rice brewer.
That's a good rock.
It is, but... So... Izanagi says, alright, kids have fun. He leaves Susanoo, the youngest of the three heavenly siblings, and that's again Susanoo no Mikoto. Was it Omikami or no Mikoto? Thank you.
No Mikoto.
Yes. Also you can power slash these guys,
Good.
but they will also block you unless you like cut their Sitara apart.
Let's see.
So Susanoo no Mikoto is upset because dad's left, mom's dead. I don't know what to do with myself, and it's the youngest sibling dealing with grief poorly. Okay? And eventually it escalates and it escalates and it escalates until Susanoo ends up skinning a horse alive.
Oh!
I think it was a horse.
Yep. It was,
And throws it into Amaterasu's weaving hall, not only breaking one of her looms, but also one of her favorite attendants.
They broke her attendant?
Yeah,
Damn.
dead.
Like if any of y'all have watched the opening credits to Monty Python, you know, the way that the foot comes down at the end.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that, but a horse falling through the ceiling.
I want to enhance my divine attributes. Holy shit.
I'd honestly go for more ink, but that's also my playthrough.
So, in response to this, Her Augustness decides she's had enough.
And shaves him bald, removes his fingernails and toenails, and kicks him out of heaven.
Ouch.
I think that's a pretty fair. That's a pretty light punishment, all things considered.
Was her favorite servant.
Yeah.
Now there's like other parts of that story that we're not getting into at this moment.
Yeah.
Also, this guy just hanging a gold coin off his hat.
Yep. Ryo.
Like, I guess also in some minor complaints in my end here, I don't always appreciate the game holding your hand about you need to go here and do this, but that's also just me complaining about game design, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, that's indeed my water glass, and I'm going to refill it.
Xylitz, I already had a pot of Moroccan mint tea. Don't get on my case.
Drink more. The good yoke paid for it. In beans.
And I already drank.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
Do you even know? Hey, monsters are history. Oh, it's an Eastern and riding a wolf everything.
So, people can see Isun.
Mm-hmm.
Boing, 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 boing.
So is Isun just a dude?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Eastern was like freaking hell. I gotta look this up now.
You can actually use the restoration brush to restore the pole.
Hang on, I didn't realize it was called the restoration brush.
Yeah.
Okay, so one sun is 1.19 inches.
Wow, that's tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny, tiny, tiny. Please bring the sun to Earth to dry my laundry. Okay.
You need to be pointed at the sky for that because the brush
Oh.
strokes are contextual.
Okay. Sorry, I thought it was just I wasn't drawing a perfect circle.
Oh no, this game isn't that picky.
Oh. Folks, I'm putting a link in the chat to a video about the tale of Isun Boshi for you to peruse at your leisure.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, make some cherry cake stock for the sun. That sounds great.
So.
Alright, let's go harass the local drunk.
I do kind of want that treasure chest over there.
You'll be able to get it later. You need to get some other powers.
Yep.
Unfortunately, plot comes first.
Yes. Got the character for Sake over there.
Mhm.
The outline of a tokuri. Oh man, Okay, so story time, kids.
Uh-huh. I love story
Are we
time.
Are we learning where the best sake comes from, Nairi?
We are learning where the best sake comes from. All right, so sake is perhaps the most well-known Japanese beverage. Fermented rice wine, of course, is what that is. But where does the best sake come from?
Where does the best sake come from?
When I was taking my required Japanese history seminar at the beginning of my MA program. Well, Vano Gaming, you're right, but wait for it. When I was taking the required seminar at the beginning, before we got into like the in-depth like specialist stuff. Silence. My professor knew me, and he knew that I had this very regional specialization within Japan. And he also knew that my sense of humor and his were very similar.
Pun heavy.
Pun heavy. So he gets to talking about sake in this course. He goes, the flavor profile of sake varies, and it depends on a lot of factors like the type of rice that you use, the source of the local water, and a heaping dose of regional hubris. Of course, and then he looks at me, of course the best sake in Japan comes from Sendai. Isn't that right, Nairi? Greater Sendai, yes, I would say. But specifically, the sake that is brewed in the port town of Shiogama, which is right next to Sendai. It's the deep water port. It's the fishing port. So the family is called is the Saura family, and the sake is called Urakasumi. It's named after after a line in a poem by an ancient poet who was a government official who was sent north to administer the imperial offices at Tagajo and was deeply moved by the sight of the bay. Urakasumi means mist over the bay.
And as of note, I believe one of the shrines that we have under our resources list, the Shinto shrines and where to find them, is Shiogama.
Correct. Correct. So that sake was first brewed by the Saura family by order of House Date of Sendai, the local lord, for the god of that shrine.
Mhm.
So it is literal god tier sake.
Huh.
And so I said I told that story because in the in the building that had the sake cask inside and the sake flask on the door, the cask. I was able to take a tour of the Urakasumi brewery in 2005, and yes, they ferment them in casks like that. And we got to crack one open and take a sniff. It was great. It smelled faintly of apples. Of course, there are no apples in sake, but the fermentation, the combination of the fermentation and the wood that was used for the casks was just very fragrant. The other thing I remember about the brewery is that the steps to go up to where they stored the casks in this building that's like basically unchanged since the Edo period, save for the addition of like electric lights. The steps were like ridiculously narrow to the point that I had to go up sideways. So, yeah.
Ah, gods, but
Nice skills, right?
Mhm. Let's see, is sword Tohenboku? I was going to ask what that meant, but it's completely gone from my brain
Tohenboku
already.
is a term I have heard used before. Let me double check to make sure it's what I remember. Okay, Tohenboku is slang for oaf.
Excellent.
Never seen that trade seriously.
Also, what's with the wooden swords? Like, I see this a lot in
Oh.
in all sorts of stuff. Is it just like, okay, this is my sword for whapping you around a bit, and I save the metal one for when it's serious time?
That's actually kind of it. Like, this is also a thing within like Western swordplay too. With Western swordplay, that's mostly called a waster, though. I actually have some synthetic wasters made from polypropylene, I think.
Yeah, I know. I helped you get one into the country.
Yeah. And it's not uncommon for people to have wooden swords to practice with because they simulate the weight and feel and balance of an actual metal sword.
Yep.
In most cases, the one that's like shows up in anime a lot is the boken. On
Yep.
the other end, there's also the shinai, which is not a full solid wooden sword, but actually bamboo sheaths,
Yes,
staves,
like
bamboo
bamboo
staves,
bound together.
and they're hollow and they're just good for thwapping people around and less likely to kill people.
That's exactly why they were invented.
Mhm.
People were using boken in training halls and were literally killing themselves while training.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Right. Yeah.
So they invented shinai as a less lethal training implement.
And as that, shinai became like the standard for kendo, the sport. Oh, she gives you pets. I cannot say that on Twitch. I love the fact that she can give you pets.
Oh, wood swords tend to be more damaging than steel swords, but in an instant where a jaw was removed by a wooden sword. Hmm.
Okay, so if we're gonna talk about wooden swords,
Oh, we're gonna have to talk about him.
him.
Okay,
Like
so
the Powerpuff Girls antagonist?
no, Miyamoto Musashi.
Oh, okay.
Miyamoto Musashi.
And I'm gonna. Can I take this one?
Please
Bra-
do.
Brave Fencer Musashi?
That's actually where we get this character from. I'm not even kidding you.
Mm-hmm.
So Miyamoto Musashi was a swordsman, I think, Edo period.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
early Edo period.
And he has been conflated with becoming a kensai or sword saint. That's neither here nor there. Well, that's actually part of the reason why we're bringing this up here. Miyamoto Musashi never lost a duel, so the story goes. I'm not entirely sure if I believe it, but he wrote it in his book, and I'm like, all right, so this is the only source we have, I guess. And as such, his
I believe that book also said that he had a huge penis and every girl loved him.
oh no, he was a lot more self-deprecating than that. It's like,
Okay.
wait, you guys are like looking to me to teach you swordplay? Man, I don't know what the hell I was doing. I just swung my blade.
Mhm.
Like, there's a lot more insightful insights to it,
Yeah,
but that's like a chunk of it. So Miyamoto Musashi is considered to be one of the greatest swordsmen of all time, and his most famous duel was against a guy by the name of Kojiro. I can't remember his full name, and Nairi, if you could help me with that.
Sasaki Kojiro.
Yes, Sasaki Kojiro.
Not
And-
Kojiro the crowless rooster from Zelda.
But so to get to this duel, they had to go to an island, and Sasaki Kojiro, as the story goes, was a very what one would imagine a noble samurai to look like kind of thing. Very well put together, very concerned about his image, very much I know what I'm doing kind of personality. Okay? Miyamoto Musashi, on the other hand, was a wild dog of a man. And I think that's a fair way to say that, isn't it, Nairi?
Yeah. Yes.
And so, as this duel is going to be happening, they get to the island. Sasaki Kojiro gets there first, and is waiting, and waiting, and waiting, and waiting. Musashi's late. Okay.
Mhm.
And eventually, it comes down to the point where it's like, where the hell is this guy? And that's when he shows up, carrying a carved sword out of a boat oar.
Look.
And there's this beautiful Hark of Vagrant comic about that. And
Yeah.
Xylus, if you could find me that comic, that would be brilliant right now. So, the thing is, as the duel happens, Musashi is using this wooden sword that he carved. And he not only beats Kojiro, but he kills him with this wooden sword.
Oh.
This is the most famous duel of all time.
Yep.
The greatest swordsman facing off against what is considered potentially the other greatest swordsman, who is taking this very seriously, I'll add, late and with a wooden weapon. And then Kojiro gets his head staved in with the boken.
Go to 40 hell forever. Bonk.
Imagine, like, you know, if I was to put this in like terms of a battle of words, imagine a famous author of some kind, or like a pundit or of some kind, like who's won a Pulitzer Prize or something, saying something on Twitter, and then getting quote tweeted by a shit poster. And then nuking their account, moving addresses, and selling their car.
And that's like not the end of Miyamoto Musashi's misadventures. One of my more favorite like small stories on the side about this here is that one time this one guy, after this duel, challenges him to another one. Musashi's just like, man, I'm retired. Please just leave me alone. But this guy kept on following him. It's just like, okay, all right. So here's how it's gonna go down. You're gonna row me to. We're gonna go to this island here, and you and I are gonna row out to this island. When we get out, we're going to duel, and that's going to be that. Okay? Yes, exactly. That's what I want to hear. So they get rowing, and they arrive to the island. Musashi says, "Well, you first, my friend." The guy gets out, and Musashi starts rowing away. Like, just later, fucko.
Very fucking good.
This is the man who has become known as the Sword Saint. And now we can actually start talking about translations of the Book of Five Rings.
Oh, Legend of the Five Rings. I love that book.
Oh my god!
Sorry,
Ah!
I have no idea about Legend of the Five Rings, but I just knew that would get your reaction.
So the translation that most of you have probably encountered, if you've encountered Musashi's book in English before, is this translation from the 1970s by a guy named Victor Harris, who had no freaking idea how to freaking handle a historic, a text in historic Japanese. Like he gets like rookie shit wrong. Like there's like,
Hydrate
history
real
is
quick,
not-
folks.
I'll be right back. Nairi, please continue.
History is not simply the names and memorized names and dates thing that most people think it is, but like up to a certain at a certain point, like you gotta have like just like a basic understanding of things happened roughly in this order, right? He goes way, way, way beyond that in getting dates wrong. Dates that are like basic ass dates that are like, if you're going to be writing about this period and you're going to be writing about the major events that happened in this period, you have to get these dates right. You have to get these names right. And he gets them wrong. He doesn't know how to parse the names of provinces. He doesn't know how to parse the names of people. He doesn't know what court titles are, and he thinks that they're other parts of people's names. He also just Victor Harris was a cis white British guy, so that should give you some idea. Like he was exoticizing and exoticizing and exoticizing. So in the West, we have this image of Miyamoto Musashi as this like esoteric, saint. Like no, like if you read. When I actually got to read the source, when I got to read the Musashi's original words, it's kind of striking just how much it's like, oh God, why are you guys coming to me for advice? I just got lucky. I just I swear, most of my career was just winning by bashing people with a wooden stick. Like, what do you want? Here's some ideas. And the thing that Harris gets like completely also just misses entirely and like deprives us of context is that this book was not written for us to read. In like a couple of the associated period documents that are usually associated with this, if you read anything about it in Japanese, Musashi was expecting his students to burn this after they read it. So I think we need to understand that if we're going to have an appreciation for what this is. This isn't for us. So, anyway. Swords. Yeah, opinions.
Oh, Vera, it's alright. It's nice to have you back.
Welcome back, love. And on that end, if you want to talk about some good translations of the Book of Five Rings, mine is by Stefan Kaufman.
Yes, that's a good one.
Mhm.
That's a very good one.
I'm gonna have to link you to the Jev Bebos.
Yeah, Bebos.
Nairi, I'm getting some feedback from Cora on being picked up on your mic. Can you just take a quick look-see-loo at that?
Picked up on my mic. I have the Discord side open. I don't know what is. Jeez. Hang on.
Cora, can you say something real quick?
Something.
Yeah, that's coming through mine.
Mm.
I don't know what the deal is. Hang on.
Let me give you some noise, and we'll just dance around it, and we'll sing
this?
a song, and it's nothing on that end. Feed the bunny!
Okay, I think we fixed it.
Hooray!
So this is not. So I've been watching The Untamed, and
Uh-huh.
this is not related to Japanese. Well, maybe I don't know, but it's a Chinese period drama. It's really gay, and it's surprisingly made in China,
Mhm.
which it's a web show. You can watch it. I really suggest it, and it has convinced me to look at all rabbits and just go gay.
I mean, fair.
Vera is exactly right. When I was in grad school, of course, you can't just do your specialization. You gotta get your general education first, and then, zero in. So, I took a seminar on Chinese philosophy, and first day of class, the professor looks at me and goes, "Ms. Bakalian, I see you're here. You're a scholar of Japan. Why are you here in a course on China?" And I said, "Because you can't study Japan without studying China." And she smiled and said, "I'm glad you said it before I had to." Which kind of horrifies me a little about what what she's encountered. If that was her, if that was her answer.
I mean,
Mhm.
it's dumb. It's
Freaking
dumb
weebs.
accidents.
Ah, hey nerd. Welcome, man. Alright, while we're loading, it seems like a good enough time as any to say, hey, if you want to support the channel, you can, of course, hit that follow button if you're not already, which is always much appreciated. And if you want to check out where else Girl Stream Team can be found on the internet, then we have our links page here, which has links to our Twitter and our YouTube.
And if you want to find out where I'm at, I'm over here on this link tree here. Please follow me. I'm lonely.
Now you just sound desperate.
I mean, look, I'm a poet. Do you realize how many of us end up dying penniless and poor?
There. You're easier to monetize after you're dead. I'm sorry, that was horrible.
I mean, it's true though.
Speaking of monetization, if you want to support us with a subscription, that's always good. If you've got Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming, which allows you to subscribe for free to one channel of your choice each month. And if you wanted to give that to us, that would be amazing. And if you want to support us without indirectly giving money to Jeff Bezos, you can also just tip us. There we go. Okay.
Alright, so I guess back to Kagere here and everything. Because again, this is just a... I love this visualization of a metaphor on how it can leave a place.
Yeah.
Like... You ever just been to a place and you just realize, I need to get out of here?
I've been in California, so yes. apologies to any Californians. The snap
Sorry,
was
Chrissy.
there. Actually, no, I've been to Alberta. There we go. That's a more fitting one. Woof.
Oh, those hurting Albertans.
Mhm. At least it's better than the squirting Albertans.
Oh, don't do this to me. Oh, I'm crunching a pickle here, and I'm trying very polite to be not noisy on stream, but then you just do that, and I feel my soul die.
Just say squirting Albertans and you bite down hard on the pickle.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Incidentally, we are now in the part of the map called Shinshu.
Mhm.
Shinshu is the name of a province that's roughly in the middle of the island of Honshu. So it's sort of like centrally located, and Mount Fuji is just to the south of it, and that's what they're hearkening to here.
Mm-hmm.
I hear Honshu has a good business in sleep and sleep accessories. Honshu, Honshu.
Oh.
That was an attempt.
You're welcome.
No rigor.
Yeah, squirting Albertans. I don't have to explain shit. In fact, I think if I explain in more explicit detail, Jeff Bezos is gonna come to my house.
I'm Jeff Bezos.
So, this is
Brr.
basically what Japan looks like, right?
I mean, let me just take a big sip of pickle juice here.
Yum.
I'm trans, fight me.
Oh, I'm gonna fight this tapestry. Really? You're just gonna let me get away with that? Okay. I guess I'm okay with that.
I mean, I don't know what else. Like, they're scrolls. You're not wrong to call it a tapestry.
There.
I mean, it's like the silk backing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only tapestry I really know about is the one
We
from...
don't talk about that.
I know where you thought I was going, but I assure you,
Oh, okay. Oh,
the only
oh.
tapestry I know about is the one from Louisiana, the Bayou Tapestry.
Okay. My mind went somewhere else.
Your
Oh,
mind is a
man.
mucky place.
Hanasaku Dani. Hana Valley.
Flower Valley. Is that the kanji that they use for that, or is it a
Yes.
different one? Hey, I got it right.
Well, but specifically, Hanasaku, flower blooming. Now, there are some things. There's actually something that Cora and I have had in development for a little while. Cora, do you think this is a good time to introduce it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
well,
think-
I'm wandering around Hyrule Field. That sounds good.
Yes, Yanagi is the green ones. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So we we have talked for some time about the need to step up in order to how to put this. There
One of our
is
dear
a-
friends, Olivia Sensei, is a registered priest, and for a long time she has been one of the most influential members of the Shinto community in English speaking circles.
in the Anglosphere.
Yes, thank you. I was just like, should I go with Anglosphere? No, I'm going with English. But then part of my brain is just like, we're going halfway. No. But most recently, Olivia Sensei has set up some healthy boundaries because there have been, for lack of a better word, assholes who have done some terrible things, stalked her, bothered her, said, "You can't leave us," blah, 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 making her responsible for this whole community. She's also the person that we generally refer to when we bring up the Living with Kami blog there. It's her blog. But up until recently, she's backed away because of asshole internet behavior, which sucks.
Mhm.
And so Nairi and I have been talking to each other and saying, we should do something, shouldn't we? And we've decided, yeah, we're going to. So, and the name of the podcast escapes me because I am good at telling stories, but bad at remembering things.
So we have decided to call this Clayera, after you remember the little leaf offerings
Mhm.
on either side of the divine mirror. The scientific name for those is Clayera japonica, and this is a plant that is sacred. Oh my God, it's a biwa.
Oh shit, it is.
So anyway, so Clayera is a plant that is sacred to the gods of Japan, and so we figured it would be a good fortuitous name to use for this project. So Clayera is the term, and you can. So we're still hashing out our how to debut this, but we're gonna. I'm thinking that we will probably be starting out in stream form on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Riverside Wings. And then as we get things further fleshed out, we'll expand into proper podcast form, and maybe also like a WordPress blog or a Patreon and things like that.
So do keep your eyes out for that.
Yes.
I'm excited to be with my friend talking about this here, talking about something near and dear to my heart that has become my way of carrying on some things that my parents have taught me that are very important, like faith and community.
And you'll no doubt get some heads up when that happens over on this channel here, Girl Stream Team, because, I support my friends. It's the thing I do.
Get in the valley, Jax.
Get in.
Go,
Said with get in the robot, Shinji.
get in the valley? What? What? This one?
Turn around. Turn
Yes,
around.
turn around.
There's this big swirly opalescent portal.
Oh,
That's
neat.
There. I'm going to murder you.
So, yeah, at the end of the day, our leaders like Olivia Sensei, who have been, who have taken to the fore for so long, it matters to step up as lay people and do our part, because in the ultimately Olivia Sensei is just one person.
Mhm.
And there are other people out there who are similarly either licensed lay preachers or ordained priests in the various faiths of Shinto. But these shrines, these faiths, the people are what make them, are what hold them together, are their fabric, they're what make them live. So, given what has happened with Olivia Sensei, we feel very strongly that we need to do our part in in picking up some of that slack,
Precisely.
because it matters.
And it really does. Like, I'm gonna be honest here and everything. am vastly appreciative of everything that Gary does in the international Fushimi Inari community. They are an excellent example of what one can do when one has the resources and the time. Oh, hey, an Omamori.
Neat.
Yes, a traveler's charm.
Ah, increases
Xylitol
godhood
and
by 1
hydrating.
level. Oh my gosh, another hydration.
So,
Drinking pickled juice.
the little charm, the little brocade bag that Jax just picked up. That is an amulet, an omamori in Japanese, and this is one of the common things that you can buy at a particular shrine, just any particular shrine. And they're these little brocade bags. You're not supposed to open them up, so don't open them up. But they, they are an implement of protection, but also are something that looks pretty
And
and a source of income for the shrine.
I use that cool, funny little
oh,
charm.
it's in your pause menu.
My pause menu?
Yes, under tools. But as you can see, your godhood's already maxed out.
But that's my pause menu. I thought I would need to look at my pause menu.
This seems like a hell of a party, and we're here to crash it. Sorry, guys, drinks are over. Last call, everyone. Get your
Come
shit
anywhere.
and get out.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Thank you.
Same. So I should offer some context about this. So anyway, so the biwa, that stringed lute-looking instrument that some of these baddies are just carrying, is an instrument that is historically affiliated with often blind performers who would perform ballads particularly about historic battles. And a lot of these ballads begin with the words "saru hodoni." And there's a couple of ways you can translate that, but lately I've been favoring. So anyway,
Here's Wonderwall.
here's Wonderwall. It's like the recent translations of Beowulf that translate "quiet" as "bruh."
So,
Oh, check out that normal tree.
it's here to womp you.
Oh. This is like a popular media franchise we're not going to be referring to.
I want to drink J.K. Rowling's tears out of a skull.
Is it Vera? I like that pseudo widow ass motherfucker. Yes, or the Alassa's all shit. Yeah. But yeah, Saru Hodoni is I think decently reasonably translated as so anyway. Or like so as I was saying.
I think so anyway is a lot more fun to say it as, though.
Yeah, same. Absolutely.
Don't worry about that area just yet. Oh, hey, Jizo.
Yep. And you'll now you may well ask as well. You may.
Where is
Why
that
would-
big automobile?
And you may say, "This is not my beautiful valley." And you may say, "These
are
are
not
not my
my-
beautiful statues."
Yes.
You may well say, "Why are those statues just randomly on the side of the path?"
And why do they look like that one statue power-up ability that Mario can do?
Well, yes, I have seen the Kermit the Frog version of Once in a Lifetime.
It's amazing.
Can't
So-
believe a
Also,
religion.
this entrance is amazing.
Can't believe a religion would rip off Nintendo. It's wild.
Oh. I have opinions about what you just said, and I'm going to keep them to myself.
Well, it's okay. I mean, like, it's happened before. Like, Loki's been ripped off from Disney, so I will say for clarity, chat, I am not this much of a dumbass.
You are that much of a shit.
So anyway, tell us about these cool Jesus statues.
So anyway, the Jizo statues, why are they on the side of the road? In Japan, this is a thing. Jizo statues at the side of the road. Jizo is a guardian of the crossroads. So yeah, there will be random Jizo statues on roadsides. This is a thing. Yes, and I am finishing the last of my water. She said Philadelphianly.
Oh, hey, Paula.
Hey, Paula. Glad you could join us.
Wow, I just looked at chat. Everyone hated everything that I was saying. And you know, me too. But look, someone's gotta fucking play Simplico in this one.
Yeah. Oh, watch
What
out,
the
that's a kid. I like Taiko Drum as a cannon, but damn.
Fucking
Yeah.
dropping those bomb-ass beats.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bass drum, so he is dropping it on it.
Something, drop the bass.
Thank you.
Neat.
Speaking of food, I'm gonna be right back. I made myself some edamame.
Oh, nice.
See,
Oh.
redeemed. Hydrate. Taiko no Batsujin.
Oh my god, I get that joke. That's very good.
Wow! Wow!
That does mean drum that explodes, right? Right? Okay, good.
Also, Paula, I am doing well just, again, talking about my special interests.
Yeah, I'm doing well as well. I'm listening and asking often very deliberately provocative questions about their special interests. Oh, I put the controller down for a moment and there is just a dog butthole on screen. Sorry about that, folks. Man, Amaterasu really seems to like Susano. Oh no, am I alone? Uh-oh. Oh, beans. Well, chat, it is fun to listen to folks talking about what they love, and, like, listening to Cora and Nairi go off about stuff has been really fun off-stream, and it's really fun on-stream as well. Like, I absolutely enjoy gently provoking the pair of them because, well, it gets a reaction. Secret training ground.
Two of us. I think the two of us often, you know, given that these interests overlap and connections overlap so much, I think the result of the two of us sort of riffing off of each other is it can be fun too.
So, a while back,
Mhm.
in a chat I was in, someone ended up talking about boiled peanuts. And someone else in the same chat ended up saying, boiled peanuts sound like an awful way to eat a peanut. Meanwhile, I'm over here just like, I've never had boiled peanuts, but it just sounds like edamame. And I realized at that moment, I am the outlier.
Yeah.
Average boiled peanut liker. Average edamame enjoyer.
don't make me into that meme. I am sorry to say. I am more than happy to say, I appreciate my other boiled legume enjoying brethren. Oh look, a tentacle.
That's fine.
Not at all unknown in the realm of Japanese arts. But we do not want to incur the wrath of the Jebebos.
Would you boil
you know
those
what I mean.
peanuts in or out of the shell? Asks Vixie, and that's a good question.
I think they were actually boiled in the shell.
Edamame would be steamed in the pod, but
Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
know about the peanuts.
I mean, it would make sense that, like, in the case of peanuts, they would be boiled because their pods are a lot harder.
Yeah. No.
Also, like,
Yeah.
edamame is good bar food.
Yeah. Now, note the waterfall. We've talked about kegare, about ritual defilement. Those reddish dark clouds out in the field, right? Ritual purification is the flip side of that.
Misogi.
Misogi or harai. And the waterfall that Jax just drew the sun over, waterfalls are one of the most important sources of purification. So if someone wants to have a particularly intense, like, clean yourself body and soul and charge up your spiritual power, common practice is to stand under a waterfall and meditate. So it's not for nothing that we're like in a cave right next to a waterfall.
And it's not for nothing that all of your Japanese animes have their characters training under waterfalls or meditating under waterfalls for long periods of time.
Yeah,
Correct.
That's just like. I mean, like this is like the same context of like how we view the training montage.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
I also enjoy the talk about eating the shell of the boiled peanut being like forgetting the paper on the bottom of a frozen bow, or the husk on a tamale. And I'm just thinking back to my first exposure to edamame, where I got some takeout, and I didn't request edamame, but I got it added as a side for my order. And I'm just sitting there merrily at work, munching away on it, and being like, scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. Man, this is very fibrous, what the fuck? And I get through most of it, and just eventually it's like, if I have any more of this, I'm gonna be sick. This isn't agreeing with me. And it's only later that I realize, oh, you don't eat the shells. You squeeze the beans out of the shells. You squeeze the beans out of the shells and you eat those, and you don't eat the very fibrous husks, because that's not good to eat.
However, you were really regular the next day, weren't you?
Oh, jeez.
Like, okay, traditionally you end up just serving salt on top of edamame. In my case, I say add some red pepper flake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Susano style Susano! Oh, I need to help him with this. Now, the bear does have a leaf on top of its head, so it's like... That's a tanuki. Or it's not a bear, at least, right?
No. Oh.
Oh, is that Susano O?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. So, this dude's Susano O in the original translation... Well, in the original version, one would assume, and it's been localized as just Susano.
Yep. Susano.
Oh, you gotta bully that bear.
It's okay. Bear barely noticed. So, is leaves on heads, is that not just a Tanuki thing, or is that...
It's Tanuki and Kitsune thing.
Yep, it's most notably there, but like, yeah.
Also, I love this expression. The Amaterasu just going, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, Amaterasu's so happy around Susano when
Yeah, Kitsune do it too.
when Amaterasu came up to Susano earlier, she was wagging her tail.
Mhm.
Oh, Kitsune have the tails, but sometimes they also use the leaves.
Oh, and also skulls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, Kitsune are shapeshifters, they're tricksters, and they're not always nice.
Yes.
But
This is a
sometimes they
thing
just
that-
want to be loved.
This is a thing that we need. This is a thing that we're hoping to talk about in our upcoming podcast blog series thing. The image of that some expect of nice versus what does the lore say, what do the shrines say, which is no, nice is not the concept here.
Are you trying to bounce on that bear's belly?
Maybe, wouldn't you?
Fair. But
Um,
like,
Big Vixie, that's an interesting comparison.
I mean, there's certainly some
well,
folklore that sort of stacks up in that regard. Like, I
Well-
wouldn't... Yeah, go ahead.
if you want to talk like what Fae are and everything, you don't use the word Fae, you use the word yokai.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, but when you're talking about Fae in non-Japanese contexts...
But even then, that's still just like, what kind of Fae? Are they like a Kate Sith or something?
I think the ball needs to be on the...
Yeah.
But yes, Kitsune are Fae-like. They are yokai. They are strange. Well, let me actually use the proper term here. Bakemono no... Yeah, no, bakemono, yeah?
Yeah. Bakemono. Changing things.
Mhm.
Shifting things.
And as such, you end up with some stories that present them in like this very pleasant manner. Like we talk about like foxwives and everything.
Yeah, as I said, sometimes Kitsune just want to be loved.
Mhm.
And sometimes people are really fucking weird about finding out their wives are foxes. Like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
Cowards.
Well, also like I'm gonna paint that in a bit of an interesting and sadly tragic context.
Mhm.
Like when a fox is found out to be a fox, because kitsune just means fox, and this is a lot within like Japanese and East Asian myth, they're killed. Straight up. And so when let's say the loving husband of a fox wife finds out said partner is a fox, it's just like, this isn't going to end well for either of us because because the village is going to come after both of us. And so most of the times they run.
Mhm.
As far as I am aware of, there's only one tale of a fox being found out that they're a human disguise, and it's tied to. Oh wait, actually, Nairi, what is that instrument?
Very
Uh,
complicated. I
That is
think
a shoal. That is an instrument involved in gagaku.
Now,
Okay.
are we talking about instrument as in musical, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Does look like a prototype for the Blue Man Group PVC pipe organ thingy.
I'm going to give you all a link to a document to a web page that's maintained by Stanford University that will teach you a little bit more about the show.
It's from the show. I'm gonna be on TV. I'm gonna be a TV star. Oh, it's from the show.
Gagaku is the term for court music. It's used both at the imperial court, at very fancy court functions, but also more commonly at Shinto shrines.
Also, would you call that this music playing in the background as like Gagaku-esque?
It's riffing on Gagaku, yes.
Sorry, just have to bring that up because it's a
Lady
It's part of the-
Gagaku?
oh. Oh, you done
If
did
only.
bad.
If only.
So anyway, gaga ooh la la.
Oi.
Look, you knew what you signed up for.
I knew what I signed up for and I still came on.
Look, you're all here being smart. I've got to do something to contribute.
Yeah, but and I'm grateful that you are because these jokes are fire.
Thank you.
And honestly, we need that right now because we don't get the fire technique until later.
I mean, the fire technique seems to have been employed an awful lot around British Columbia right now, which is not great.
So, back to Kitsune. Like the one thing that I do remember is wait, I need to actually just be chill about this because this scene is beautiful. Okay, all right. God, that scene still feels amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But with Kitsune, the only tale that I remember, and this is again pulling from The Fox and the Jewel by S. Smyers.
Karen Smyers.
Real good book, especially if you are interested in learning anything about Inari Taisha. I'm gonna actually make sure I post this in here. Because again, it's a good book. But as I'm saying here, the Fox and the Jewel brings up this one story where it's talking about a fox who doesn't get killed after being found out that they are a fox and disguised as a human. And it's really sad that that is like one of the very few tales that is talked about where it's you're free to go, we've caught you, but we're not going to harm you. There's no need for you to run away from us. Just take this drum and leave. And I'm sorry that it's using the skin of your dead mother.
Whoa, okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah!
Yep.
That took a turn.
Welcome to Fox Stories. They don't end happy for us.
No.
I can tell another happy fox story.
Mm-hmm.
There once was a fox called Cora who got head pats. The end.
Okay. I mean, I'm here for it.
Sorry, do
So-
go ahead.
So, we mentioned at the top of the show here that we are both parishioners of particular shrines in particular places. So my home shrine, Kameoka Hachiman Shrine in Sendai, in its neighborhood, there were in the old days, in the Edo period, there were units of foot soldiers in service to the local lord who had their residences there. So one of these guys was a gunner by the name of Yazaemon. And Yazaemon was known among the humans and among the foxes as
Fox Killer.
Kitsunetori Yazaemon. Yazaemon Fox Killer Yazaemon. Katsumata Yazaemon was his full name.
Mhm.
So there was a flute player, a player of the bamboo flute, the transverse flute, whose name escapes me, but who had been entrusted with one of the Date family treasures, which was a flute called Oni Ichimonji. Now, this is a real flute. It still exists today, but the legend has it that in the 9th or 10th century, I can't remember when, a famous flautist named Minamoto no Hiromasa played the flute in Kyoto at the Rashomon, which is famous for the Kurosawa movie named after it, the Rasho Gate, one of the gates of the city. And an oni, an ogre, like an earth spirit, was listening and was moved to tears at the sound of his flute, and came back the next night, and when Hiromasa returned to play some more, they played a duet for, I think, like 10 or 12 nights or something. And then on the final night, this oni came to Hiromasa, and they exchanged flutes. And the flute that Hiromasa received was Oni Ichimonji, this powerful, this otherworldly, beautiful flute. So this is the flute that this flautist is playing. This would have been, I think, the 18th century. And for some reason, he incurs the wrath of the Date Lord, who exiles him to domiciliary confinement, basically house arrest, at the far side of Sendai Bay.
Mhm.
And at this point, the fox killer Yazaemon is going around at the height of his career, killing kitsune. And this exiled flautist is approached by a kitsune on the run who begs him to be hidden. And so the flautist hides this fox. Yazaemon goes through the area and can't find the fox. And the fox's life is saved. And the fox says to the flautist, I am very grateful for you having saved my life. In return, go and stand on this particular spot tomorrow night, and you will be able to play your flute, and you will be able to come home from exile. So he goes out to that spot the next night, plays this legendary flute, and by the power of the kitsune, his flute playing gets carried by the wind clear across Sendai Bay, so like something like, I think, 20 miles at its widest point, clear across Sendai Bay to where Lord Date is at the seaside villa Kanrante. Kanrante itself is also still there. You can visit it today. And here's this ethereal flute music, and he turns to one of his aides and says, "What is that?" And the aide says, "I think that's that flautist you exiled playing Oni Ichimonji." So the Lord says, "I can't remember why I exiled that guy. Bring him back." So because this flautist showed such great kindness to a kitsune, he was able to return from exile, and he lived happily ever after.
Oh yeah.
The flute Oni Ichimonji remained in Date hands until 1947, when House Date, like many other former lordly houses, sold a lot of its treasures in order to make money, because the American occupation abolished the nobility system.
Mhm.
Oni Ichimonji returned to Sendai in 1999, and it's still there.
Nice.
So, some kitsune stories and happily.
I'm glad. I like it
And-
when foxes are happy.
Now, like, I'm also gonna point out that some of the reason why some Fox stories are just like really awful is because kids, don't go summoning foxes.
Yeah.
Like, this is just some free advice I'm giving you, and I'm going to tell you why you don't go summoning
It
foxes.
sounds like a fun idea, but then we'll just be in your backyard scramming all night.
Oh, if only. So,
Sometimes they just kind of go at you. I've seen that Finnegan fox.
yes. But also just... How do I need to deal with this here? Where do I begin, Nairi?
Let's put it this way. If you are going to be summoning beings that have that kind of power, to borrow the phrasing of a beloved book of Cora's and mine, and quite a few of our friends, be sure.
Like, I'm gonna also be real here. It's rude.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, cool, yeah, I was just, chilling, and
Mhm.
you've got me over here to do what for you? That sounds
Your
like bullshit.
taxes?
Fuck
Your
that.
taxes. And so, even further with that, a lot of stories involving foxes also talk about
What the fuck?
mischief that foxes do.
Sorry, Automod held,
Automa dinged me for something.
yeah, I don't know why. There we go. For some reason it was like, held for misogyny, and it highlighted, the word put, comma. I don't understand that. That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Huh. Alright, Automod, we're watching you.
Oh, a monkey.
Anyway, you were saying about summoning foxes.
I'm trying to figure out one that doesn't end with, I'm trying to find one... The one that's coming to mind is also, again, from the Fox and the Jewel, but it also involves, things that are best left not said on Jeff Bezos' Funtime platforms.
Someone
So,
who's a
Like we
funny
said,
jewel
like
is a
we
butt
said,
plug.
like we said earlier, a lot of these stories involve sex, blood, and
I mean, just to
things like
give,
that.
the standard for where we're at. Yesterday we're saying that King Zora uses a Brita filter as a butt plug, so that's why it's okay that all of Hyrule's water goes between his backsack and crack.
I mean, okay, you know what? That's a fair point, and I also baited you into saying that. But there's something to be said about
I mean, you didn't bait me into saying specifically that. I could have just looked at your message and gone, haha, yeah, that is true, Cora.
yes, but where I'm going with this is the context of so
Oh, I see Hungry Wolf Kitchen. Right, okay, that makes sense. Um, well,
so this.
work, damn you.
Aim for the branches.
Uh,
Yeah, aim a little higher. There you go.
So, what I'm going to be saying here is that one of the more interesting Kitsune stories where the fox gets away and shenanigans happened was one time a fox turned into impersonated someone's lover and wrote them a nice letter saying, hey, come meet me here. And when they met, said fox decided to have some fun times under false pretenses until the woman died from the natural circumstances of the fox's virility.
dang.
That's one of the more polite ones.
Mm-hmm.
Other ones include foxes leading other people off cliffs, foxes eating the livers of people, foxes eating the hearts of people. Foxes are dicks.
Apparently.
Mm-hmm. Like, everyone looks at those things. Like I look at foxes like, aw, cute little thing. And I also look at foxes like, ah, yes, the sneaky little animal.
I worry that the temptation some may have is to say, "Oh, how terrible," you know, or they don't play by any rules. It's like, no, they have rules. It's just not the human world's rules.
Oh, absolutely. Like,
Like, let's be real here.
mhm.
Oh, why? Why'd you make me backtrack? I'm
Because
just
it's
gonna.
Wolf Zelda.
Welder.
Wolf Zelda.
Yeah, but not that one.
Mm-hmm.
Wolf Zelda. No, the other one.
Also, Twilight Princess is good. This is better.
Mm-hmm. Yep, big agree.
And I want to point out that basically similar notions and similar stories exist about supernatural cats in Japanese folklore.
Ooh. Oh, I got a piece of heart.
Yep. Oh, Tama no Mai.
Oh,
If we're gonna be talking fox stories.
yeah, we do. We do.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
So, again, me just looking at this going, "Brr, brr, brr, brr," playing fast and loose with like with the story, but still trying to get the gist of it here. Okay.
Thank you for coming out, Big Fixie.
Vixie,
hey!
take care of yourself. It's been
You
lovely
well,
to have you.
Vixie? I was wondering when we were gonna find one of these.
Find all the scatter beads and get a special reward.
It's something I want to do in one of my playthroughs. We don't need to do it here.
So,
Or there are a lot of them.
Amamonomai.
Do you want to take it or should I take it?
Please, you by all means, you take it.
Yeah, go for it. I was just thinking up a funny joke related to the beads, but all I've got is butt beads, so go ahead.
I mean, the first thing that came to mind was like a mala, Buddhist rosary.
I mean, yeah, but like, I mean that's the actual thing for those beads,
True.
I guess.
True.
And
Well-
it's not funny if I say the actual real thing.
True. So.
Tama no. Oh wow. Tama mo. I had it. I had the way to say the name, and now I lost it.
Amamo.
Yes, thank you. Tamamo no Mai is a legendary fox. A fox of myth and story. And she is also a woman who is seduced and despoiled emperors. Among one of them is that she, going as far back as the story goes and everything, we start our tale off in China, okay? Now, because we start off our tale in China, we start off our tale with, Tama no, Tama no, Tamamo no Mai. Wow!
There you go.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get Laura to put a letter grade up on the screen for that when I get her to edit this.
Thank you. Because we start off in China, she was also had the name of Daji there, and I think that's right. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, because I do not pretend to be a full-on authority. I know a lot. I don't know everything.
That sounds right to me.
But so she seduced an emperor and killed him because
Neat.
she drained the life force out of him. It's not said how she drained the life force out of him. Pick an orifice. That's how she got there.
Hmm.
I'm mostly joking.
It's like that one thing in Bubba Hotep with the folks that drain old men's souls out their arseholes.
No, that's a kappa.
I don't think there was a kappa in Bubba Hotep, but fair.
You okay there, Nairi?
Oh dear. Oh, Nairi.
Oh no, Nairi, did I actually? Holy crap. Did I accidentally banish my friend to the Shadow Realm?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
And again, brief moment just to watch this part.
Yep.
Yeah, we were worried for a moment because we were saying some cursed stuff. Time to cleanse it. There it goes.
Begone, bot!
So it's interesting. So it's interesting that you point that out, Jacob, because kappa in some places are actually enshrined as kami. The shrine that immediately comes to mind is Isora Jinja.
Regrettably, the kappas that come to mind for me are the one from one of the Harvest Moon games that you can have as a marriage option, but their entire reaction, like, to wed them, you have to do some wild shit, and then when you wed them, it's like, okay, now go away. And they'll show up on your farm at one point to say, you, pregnant. And that's how you know you're pregnant with a kappa baby. And the other kappa I'm aware of is one in Monster Prom, who is a
yeah.
horrifying anime nerd and the worst kind of internet person.
Yeah.
But so Daji kills this emperor, drains his life force, and then gets the hell out of Dodge. And in this case, Dodge is out of Dodge is from China into Japan. Okay. And so from there, she is now repeating, lather, rinse, repeating. Okay. Until one of the court sorcerers says, "The hell up." This only started when she started showing up here. Alright. I don't mean to presume here, madame, but if I could ask you to come join us while we say these prayers. And as they're saying prayers, she goes full on monster fox thing. And a grand chase ensues until she is killed. Mind, she was killed because she was on the path towards regicide. And where she died, a stone. I can't remember if she was actually killed with a stone or if she killed with a bow. Either way, a boulder was there, and the boulder was inhabited with her spirit, and she was still angry. Because wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
Yep.
Might be a little
So-
upsetty spaghetti.
She, knowingly and fully angry, starts killing more people. And as she's killing more people, as this stone, a Buddhist priest,
Yes.
thank you, comes up and is like, okay, I think I have a way that we can help this out here. We're going to see what we can do to appease this restless spirit. Which she was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, she got dead and then she got stoned, so...
Yep. And so, because of that, she ends up being enshrined, if I'm remembering this correctly.
Yes.
which appeased her, and I don't know which shrine it is. I should really look into that. And because of that, she was able to find peace at last. Also, the fact that it's a literal demon's gate makes me happy.
How so?
Oh boy, are we here to talk about esoteric Taoism as well with Shinto? Who would have thought it?
Me? Me, I would have
That's a-
thought it. This seems like exactly your bullshit, so...
It
Esoteric
really is.
Taoism in my Shinto? It's more likely than you think.
Okay.
This is what
Centipedes in
happens.
my Shinto?
There's plenty of that too.
Oh. Oh dear. Why?
Because they're alive and they're animals, Jax.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
So, esoteric Taoism. We talked about like the four guardians and everything here, okay? And the four guardians are a big part of it. They guard each one of the cardinal directions. Now, there are 8 directions, though. Well, 9 if you want to get really technical here. North, south, east, west, southwest, northeast, northwest, southeast, and then center.
It's
These
kind
are
of
the
weird.
9.
It's kind of weird that they call those the cardinal directions, because typically a bishop can only move diagonally.
Hey.
Hey.
That's why they have to get upgraded to cardinal first. Someone please click that. That was that one felt amazing and good to say.
Thank you.
But don't forget the demon fang.
Oh, do they despawn real fast?
Yes, they do.
Oh, geez, they super do, huh?
So, as I'm gonna just continue saying here, these contexts of the directions and everything, and the guardians are actually carryover from China, and Taoism in particular. Okay. And because they carry over from Taoism, they carry over some of the baggage that comes with it, including lucky and unlucky directions.
Yep.
As such, the 2 most notable unlucky directions are northeast and southwest.
Wait,
These are
this-
what's called...
Is this some feng shui shit at this point?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually.
That's exactly it.
Feng Shui is just Taoist geomancy.
Neat.
Which is
And we
also
do a little work.
Which is also a generalization why it could just be said, don't say Feng Shui is like the magic, just say geomancy, please. But neither here nor there. We're here to talk about lucky directions, and unlucky directions in particular. Northeast and southwest are what called the demon gates.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly why. Honestly, upgrade your ink, Jax, you'll need it.
I'll trust you on that one.
Well, you've been like despawning your ink
Yeah.
because
No,
you've been
no,
running out of ammo.
No, I was saying I'll trust you on this one because, you know your Bane.
No,
Sorry.
I need to clip that one. I'll be right back.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay.
No, that one was good. I just need to clip that for friends' sake.
Okay.
So, got some
Offering.
guardians over here. They look like 2 of the 7 lucky gods. Actually, the 7 lucky gods are mostly Japanese gods, but most of them are originally Indian.
Mhm.
But those look like 2 of them. Not sure which. The
Oh.
sign said dojo.
Ah. Then we need to go train.
Yes.
God, a streamer I really enjoy. Oh jeez. Dollop Days is doing a Homestar Runner watch party.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, like in a couple days, I think. I'm not sure exactly when, but I am turbo down for that because there's not going to be a VOD of it because, well, you know, streaming
Yeah.
copyrighted stuff. Like, it's been a while since I watched me some Homestars.
They've finally started making new ones now.
That's good. I'm glad about that. Like they
After-
kind of dripped a few of them out here and there, but I guess they're doing them in full force.
Ever since Flash died, and they moved the platform to YouTube,
Yeah.
they've been doing some new ones.
Yeah, like I am kind of bummed about just end of Flash support because a lot of old Flash stuff is now being preserved, quote unquote, as video, and you know, Flash was more than
Yeah.
just regular ass video. It was,
It's
you know,
it's interesting. It's interesting. You know, the the question of digital archiving and preservation of defunct formats. There is, in some cases, like with Flash in particular, I was encouraged to see that there's like open source projects that are attempting to like build sort of homemade Flash support, so that you can at least run the, you know, so HomestarRunner.com, for instance, runs on this now. And
oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I think it was coded on Rust. I'm not sure. But this question of how do you preserve something that is otherwise going to fall outside of its original format and thus lose something in the process is an increasingly important one.
Why is this guy so tough?
Well, he gains his power when he's like underground. Honestly, if you want to know my strategy for him, just start running in a circle.
Huh. I mean, I've beaten some of these guys in like a couple of blows. I guess some of them have more health than the
Well,
others.
it's not that. You're just trying to get behind him so you can distract him and hit him easier. Mhm.
But anyway, sorry, Nari. Go ahead with the preservation.
Alright.
I guess she's doing something. Yeah, like,
Oh, Jax, I need you to go to the dojo. I need you to
Okay.
go to the dojo so I can just see this guy.
the Jojo Dojo.
Yes.
Ooh. I don't know what to do with that yet, but that's neat.
You'll find out.
Shokusoku. What is that trying to say? Huh.
Maybe it will help you see if you see the sensei.
These pigs have bad legs. Like the back legs, look at them when it turns sideways on.
Seems odd.
What? That's making me uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's just some bad legs, like I said.
Just skip. Ugh. 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 Dojo.
Dojo. Why the scare quotes?
That's a good question.
Because of this man.
Uh,
Oh, his head kind of looks like it
Okay, now, oh my God, what? What? Onigiri Sensei, what?
Hi, hi.
Now, his head is absolutely one that can be reversed, right? Because look at him. He's gonna turn his
Well,
fucking
you'll
head around and turn into to fucking Hihachi or something.
I'm not saying a thing.
Mr. Jelly-filled... Yes, exactly, Vera. Mr. Jelly-filled donut. Everybody loves a jelly donut.
Both of those are really good.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't have rosaries yet.
Oh, here it goes. Here it goes. Everyone brace for impact.
What?
Oh, he turned into Guy Fieri. Okay.
What? What?
I had a Kenpo sensei who was like this.
His
So-
head turned around?
Her head, it's not like that, but she was a completely different person. Like, you could meet her at the hall, and it's just like, oh, Sensei Lee. It's just like, oh, hey, how are you doing? When she's actually in her gi and everything, it's like, all right, listen up. Yes, ma'am.
reminds me of some kami that so there's a figure from the late Edo, early Meiji named Nagakura, who some of you who watched Golden Kamui might recognize the name. Nagakura fought in the 1860s in Kyoto, and he survived the Bakumatsu and the Boshin War. He lived a very long time. He lived into the early 20th century. He was still around in the Taisho era, actually. And there's a story that goes something like this. When he was an old man in the early Taisho days,
Also, Jax, you're free to go.
Oh, okay.
when he was an old man in the early Taisho days, he was walking to the movies one day with his grandson, and the yakuza block his path. The gangsters block his path, and they try to threaten him and intimidate him, and his grandson's like, "Hey, stop making fun of my grandpa!" Huh? And the yakuza shove elderly Nagakura, who, he's old. He walks with a cane. He's got a little bit of a stoop. Nagakura finally decides that he has had enough. So he drops his cane, straightens up his back, and glares at these gangsters with such terror, with such terrifying fire in his eyes, that the gangsters run off in fear. And then Nagakura picks up his cane, bends his back, takes his grandson by the hand, and says, "Shall we go see a movie?" So that's what this reminds me of a little.
Yeah. But, these... I like these kind of... I like this kind of character because it just shows that, yes, he's a one-off kind of jokish character, but it also shows that he has depth. And, this is something that a lot of people don't always understand about others. just because I seem like a very reserved and kind person doesn't mean I won't hesitate to whoop your dumb ass.
Huh?
Isn't that right, Silence?
And it's also, this is also relevant to something that I think you and I want to talk about on our new project. The image that people have of the numinous, of the otherworldly, beings like Kami and Kitsune and so on, as being nothing but love and light, right? Like
Live,
that.
laugh, cause trouble on purpose.
Exactly.
So, there's this image that people have, and I don't know where it comes from. I think it's from from uh, from Western, from like just the mass market Western paganism. I'm guessing because I see it sometimes. They're like, no, the gods are not all love and light. Sometimes thunderbolts fall from heaven and burn shit down.
Hmm.
As a devotee of a battle goddess in particular, I feel very strongly about this. Like, there's this image that I note in with some concern in in pop culture of Hachiman, goddess of battle, or first of all, they don't even call her goddess of battle, and why she's equated with Emperor Ojin is a long story. But anyway,
Political reasons.
the image,
Political reasons.
political reasons exactly, but we'll get to that. Um, the image of Hachiman that most people have is like muscle-bound, manly man who delights in blood and tearing shit down. They think of Katsumoto from The Last Samurai. But that's not how that works.
Is that how this kanji works?
Actually, yeah.
Agata no Mori.
Yeah,
What that
because
says.
the last one there is forest, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I recognize the kanji for forest at least, so that's not kind of nice.
Oh, second one, the middle one, and that is fire, which...
Yep, I recognize that one as well because of Charizard.
Hanabiya,
Oops, sorry.
pyrotechnic house, pyrotechnicists house.
Oh, Hanabi. I know that name as well from the card game with the same name.
Oh, it's a beautiful... there it is.
So, why is Hachiman seen as being equating to Emperor Ojin, and ergo prompting people to have this, manly man image? Well, that's because Hachiman came over from Korea with the Hata clan, and
Big fan of them, the Hata clan.
oh yes, so
Oh dear.
oh my. Came over with the Hata clan, and one of the incidents that nearly overthrew the imperial house involved the adherents of Hachiman. And so, in order to neutralize Hachiman as a political threat, the imperial court began to equate Hachiman with Emperor Ojin. When Hachiman, in her older form, is this, battle and motherhood goddess. So like, I can't really even just at its core, I can't just look at that and go, oh, love and light. Like, no. I like to, I like to sometimes suggest that people think of her as like that really hip aunt who drives the the muddy Subaru and has a concealed carry license.
Live, laugh, shank a motherfucker.
Yeah. live, laugh, and if you lay a hand on one of my kids, I am going to tear you to pieces.
And I guess, oh boy. Are we going to be talking about our Ujigamis? We're going to be talking about our Ujigamis. Here we are talking about our Ujigamis. Okay.
You knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm. We'll just wait for tonight. Tonight's already coming. Also, I love his pipe.
It's extremely good.
But, so... we're going to be talking about Ujigamis and everything here. Mine, like Nairi's, also came over to Japan with the Hata clan. My Ujigami is Ōnari Ōkami. She is a divinity of rice and a whole lot of other things. And it's a lot more common to just list off. It would be a lot shorter of a list to list off what she hasn't dabbled in, let's say.
Now, there's a lot of, like, divinities aren't necessarily exclusive. Like, there's more than one divinity of rice going around, right?
Absolutely, and actually we'll touch on that with a brief moment here because I am involved with someone who is a devotee to... Ooh, I need to wash my mouth out when I say this one.
Why do I have a vase?
Because it's a nice vase.
I mean, yeah, but...
You can sell it for money.
Oh, okay.
But, so... Another rice divinity, a rice kami, would have been Oguchi no Makami-sama. And I'm going to just keep it like that because there are some things that my Ujigami and that kami don't like each other. And we'll leave it like that. But, so, with Ōnari Ōkami in this case, again, came over from Korea with the Hata clan, associated with rice, associated with success, wealth, and a lot of things. Okay? Further with Ōnari Ōkami. And I use she when referring to her. I know in Gary's case, they use they. Ōnari's gender isn't set in stone, and that's perfectly fine. They can change it as they wish. So, in my case, when I view her, I recognize her as a very nice and kind and caring being. She is also the kind of woman who will light your house on fire if you cross her. She's also the kind of woman who will pettily say, "Good luck getting that loan without me."
Oof.
And make sure you fail every step of the way.
Neat. Cool.
Yeah. And in some cases of how I view her Aramitama, and we are not going to name that divinity because...
Sidebar for everyone's edification and education. Aramitama is the wild or rougher manifestation of a being, and Nigimitama is the peaceful or I guess propitious manifestation of a being. They can be enshrined separately under different names, but ultimately they are aspects of the same being.
And I'm not sure that you defined Ujigami either.
I did actually at the start.
Did you? Okay.
Tutelary deity.
Oh, there we go. Well, I think you might need to define tutelary deity as well.
So,
Patron divine.
The
Please, in small words.
the deity, like the way that you know, you might say I revere so and so, right? But like that together with I am a parishioner of thus and such church, like this specific church in this specific place that has this specific history. So that's what's sort of wrapped up in Ujigami, So for me, that's Kameoka Hachimangu, Kameoka Hachiman Shrine in Kawauchi district of Sendai, and my tutelary deity, my Ujigami, is
At a fuse.
Himekami, also known as Hachiman.
And that is what I mean when I say my Ujigami is Olinari Ōkami. I say that I am a parishioner, practitioner, and general believer in Inari Taisha. And more specific, I also, and again, at the risk of offending Merp Face, I am I find myself drawn not only to the Shinto side of her, I also find myself drawn to the Buddhist side of her, which generally you'd say Onari Daimyojen. Onari Daimyojen.
Yep.
And that has complicated things, but that is as it is.
Yep.
Also, this scene is really cute.
Hmm? Bakugami.
Bakugami.
God of Explosions!
Explosion God.
I want to hear this guy voiced by Terry Crews in the full Old Spice voice.
Alternatively, Keith David, who voiced the Boar God in Mononoke Hime.
Good choice, good choice.
I believe you, and I thank you for it, young one. I am only ashamed that such a demon could have come from our clan.
Also, real talk, Princess Mononoke and Mononoke Hime is a great movie to watch to get an understanding. If you want to understand a lot of my own belief system and everything, watch Mononoke Hime. Okay? And I don't think
Same goes for mine.
And I don't think that's like a far off thing to say.
No, not at all.
Don't be afraid to exaggerate the fuse to start from the center more.
There you go.
Okay.
Wait.
Nope.
Yeah, start closer to the center. There you go.
Okay.
So, and I bring that up because Mononoke Hime is a bunch of people and a bunch of divinities forgetting a lot of the harmony on living together and clashing over it.
Rachu.
Isn't that that
Dispose
love?
whimsically.
Isn't that Isn't that
A Pokemon?
Yes, thank you. I tried to put two and two together here, folks. My brain is trying to work. If you can smell the smoke, you know I'm working here. I swear I'm smart.
You are smart. You're just, trying to do a lot of things at once. Like, say smart things and also continue making intelligent commentary and
Folks,
teach people
hydrate.
things. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna hydrate once I'm sure that Amaterasu doesn't dehydrate.
Yes, no dehydrating.
Also, yes, Hungry Wolf Kitchen Bakugami needs a trunk.
But like you were saying though, Cora, about Aramitama.
So one of the better ways I can also describe Aramitama is that Xylitz and I used to do a lot of mosh pitting.
I'm interested where this is going.
And Xylitz and I are, pretty agreeable, pleasant, gentle people. The thing is, when we are in a mosh pit, we are not agreeable, gentle people. We are here for a party and to go ham wild. Hard as a
You're
no.
allowed to say fucker.
Excellent. Yes, Xylitz and I, in the middle of a mosh pit, would go hard as a motherfucker.
Like, Terrell's allowed to say fuck.
Wait, Terrell's allowed to face fuck?
Folks,
Terrell's allowed to say fuck.
my darling cousin at Unnatural 20 has redeemed an IRL word ban and has banned the word no in English and Japanese.
Oh.
Oh!
Hang on, let me...
Hotoka!
There we go.
Oh!
So,
Nope.
for those of you who are watching at home, that's no and yeah.
Well, I need to restart the timer. There we go.
What about Janai?
That's not no. Or fuck!
Ugh.
Chaos reigns!
There we go. Okay. Oh, my butt.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Somehow that's worse.
That's null. That's the drama, not the possessive. I'm not allowed to say.
Oh, you're gonna drown.
I think I might drown a little bit.
Who
Aha.
can say? Oh, wait, we made it. What did you expect me to say?
I wasn't quite sure where you were gonna go with that, but...
Who can say where the heart beats? I can't. I don't know that song.
I want the rice, the cherry cakes. I know. With a K.
Oh well, Xylitz, I was using the story of us moshing at Camelot and Nightwish to illustrate that both of us are very polite and wonderful, gentle people, but that doesn't apply in a mosh pit. We aren't the nice, polite, gentle people. We're here to have a party and go hard as a motherfucker. Because that's just how this goes. That's what I mean when I say that the best way I can describe Aramitama as just the wild side of someone's personality. Get that yen.
My instinct with those is always to just hang on to them. It's just like, I might need them later.
Meanwhile, me. Nah.
Does that count? That probably doesn't
Rat you,
count.
if you will.
It doesn't. Rat shoe.
Hey, I just made that joke earlier, but I appreciate it.
Also, I like the monk.
Yeah.
He's such a happy gentleman.
Neat, okay. I'm down for a miracle.
I mean, you're gonna make it happen. That's how you progress the plot.
Oh, I see.
What happens when you're the god? People turn to you for the miracles. But, like...
I just wanted to come back here for some of those fucking cherry things.
As it were, I see miracles every day. Magnets, how do they work?
I'm not Gamzee. That one's for
Her-
you, Silence.
Her voice is scrundled in a particular way that has to be deliberate.
Well,
Yeah.
you're singing.
I am hearing an abstractization of like, old lady singing a folk song.
Mhm. Okay, Vera is insisting on why, so... There we go. I did the hum.
Oh, wait. Oh. Bark.
What?
Sorry, I'm losing my mind.
What do you do? What do you do when you're a god? You're well, you got a lot of stuff to do, and you have retainers to help you do it.
Oh, screaming. That is hitting way close to a lot of things I am not willing to talk about.
Okay.
Well, I'm very curious now, but okay.
Well, gods. Let me put it. Let me put it in the academic sense.
Thank you.
At shrines, just at your average shrine, right? Shinto shrine. There are usually paired statues that line the path. You remember we were saying you don't go right up the middle. Okay. The timer went. The timer finished.
Oh, excellent.
No more! Ha ha!
So along the paths to up into a given shrine, you have these usually paired statues of guardian animals. They are the messengers, the sort of I like to think of them as the retainers of the gods. Of specifically the god of that shrine. And not only do they guard the shrine, but they also are the ones who are out carrying the messages and doing the errands.
They're the postman and the marshal at the same time.
Yeah.
And thank you for explaining that in the academic sense. That one's a little difficult for me to explain in any other sense.
So there are, very often the common term for this is koma inu, because they're often dogs, guardian dogs. Shrines to Oinari Ōkami sama
Kenzoku.
will have cats.
Wait,
Myobu.
no, foxes.
Or,
Onari.
Sorry, I'm a step ahead of myself. Sorry.
It's
We'll have
okay.
foxes called myobu. Kitsune is the generic term, but myobu is specifically foxes that work for Oinari Ōkami. Cats are sometimes at shrines to Hachiman Ōkami-sama. The cats are called komaneko. Some of the same lore and similar stories surround the cats. There are other shrines that have monkeys. There are other shrines that have other creatures. But those are a god has a lot to do, right? So they get by with a little help from their attendants.
And I mean, that's like one of the things about it. Like, these guards are. What the heck am I trying to say here? They guard the shrine, they take care of the shrine on the other side of it. Humans take care of it on this side.
Yep.
Also, brief thing here. I don't know why they are using a statue for this.
Yeah.
It feels wrong, and I'm not getting into that incident.
Yeah. Long story. Now, if you'll note,
Look, the more things that you say, and we're not getting into that, I'm just like, but why?
Because politics, and I don't want you to get in trouble with a priest who runs a shrine in Washington.
Fuck them, they're in Washington, I'm all the way over here.
I'm in Washington!
Well, you said you don't want me to get in trouble, not you don't want you to get in trouble.
I mean, fair enough. Okay. Let me go use the restroom, fill up my drink, because I know Xylitz is gonna give me a hydrate after that. I see you.
I mean, you have been filling up on vinegar with the pickle juice, so it's only fair that you fill up on piss. I mean, well, or empty out of piss, rather.
I mean, I'm not into it, but you do you, sis.
Look, peeing, you don't have to be into peeing to...
It says one is a mouth like a spade.
Hmm.
Somebody clip this.
Make way for piss! I don't know why, I like that. Yes, I know it's the opposite of how peeing works. We have now covered this extensively in uncomfortable detail. Look, I'm trying to, like, play video games and talk and also say things that won't embarrass me horribly, so... Well, maybe not that last one, but you know. Yeah. Ooh, I should fix this tree, but I also do want those cherry treats. Okay, with that musical swell, I believe that's all the trees. The topic is very saturated and soggy. And just kind of gross and moist. Oh god, Nairi, where are you? In my hour of need. I have to fill the air. Weren't you gonna make me some cakes? Yes, 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 yes! Um... um... okay, okay. Casually Masatsu's cherry cakes, I guess. Holy shit. Oh, I think it's a cherry mochi, which I think makes sense in the context of the fucking punching, because that's like mochi making. If only our experts on the matter might speak up on it.
What, mochi?
Just a second. I was clipping something that Cora
Oh,
asked for.
oh, no worries, no worries.
Okay, so making mochi, you were saying? I got
So,
distracted a little bit.
I don't know if you saw the animation that just played out, but this lady here just did a wombo combo and posed like Akuma, and then produced cherry cakes, which I believe are cherry mochi in this case.
Yeah. So, like, was it like a pounding motion?
I mean, it was a punching motion. Let's see if we
A
can get her.
punching motion.
Oh, tomorrow
Okay.
evening. Ah, dang it. Okay.
So for mochi, like to make mochi, you have to pound rice. So that may be what they're evoking there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured, but yeah.
Alright, so, given that we're talking about this here, and I'm gonna turn up the mic again just a wee bit so you can hear what I'm doing, everyone.
Uh-huh. Ah, hydrating.
With Chilitra-approved honey juice.
Ah, nice. We like that.
It's really sweet.
Hell yeah.
So, Minasama! I have to open with that because, of course, I do. Okay. All right. So there is a shrine that is conspicuously missing on that resource list, and I'm gonna put this resource list again in the chat here for all of you. And the shrine is conspicuous. The shrine is a very English shrine, a very American shrine. In fact, it even has America in the name. Okay. And that shrine is the Tsubaki Grand Shrine, and that's the Tsubaki Grand Shrine of America. Okay. So, when I first moved to the Washington area about 3 years ago, and I'm taking a bit of a sippy right now, I invite you all to join me.
Victory.
Wait.
Oh, this one comes from Washington State. Oh, nice. Anyway, as I am sipping here on this honey-flavored Twitch-approved juice,
Mm-hmm.
I am filled with courage and righteous
Booze.
fury
Mm-hmm.
about... Okay, that was cool. I am filled with courage and righteous fury about how this happened. About winter, the new year of 2019. No, 2020. The new year of 2020. I am with Mao. I am going into. I'm going over to the Tsubaki Grand Shrine. It is our first visit to the Shrine of the New Year. And as I go there, I look towards the Inari Ōkami shrine, the auxiliary shrine on the premises, because the main shrine is one to Saratohiko Ōkami. I'm saying that right? Right.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm already a little tipsy right now, folks.
You are lightweight in
Mhm.
many ways, but not.
I mean, if you're tipsy on Twitch approved juice,
It must be real good juice.
I know, right?
Right. But so, as I am dealing with this, and I see, instead of the shrine at the end of the Torii Gate, I see a statue to Ame no Uzume no Mikoto,
Yes.
who is a wonderful kami in her own right. She is not Ujigami. And I'm just sitting here looking at this going, why is there a statue here? And I'm trying not to say anything because at the same time, I don't want to ruin anyone's experience at the shrine. I'm a polite person. This politeness was my own undoing this time.
Yeah, it's like if you're going to McDonald's and they served you Burger King instead.
That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is this.
Another way to look at it is literally anything other than the horribly offensive thing I just said.
No. Imagine if you were going to go pray to... Imagine if you were going to Temple Square in Salt Lake City to go see the giant Jesus statue, and someone replaced it with Garlic Farmer from Tohoku region.
So, for context, there is a highly apocryphal story about somebody in the Meiji era bullshat about Jesus didn't die. He just escaped to Japan and became a garlic farmer.
So, as I'm looking at this statue, and I'm just thinking to myself, something's wrong here, I wait till after the ceremony is done, because we're there for the New Year ceremony, and I check in on the Shinto server on Discord, where I then see Gary losing their mind.
Is a senior lay leader in Korra's faith.
And so as I am looking at this, I am suddenly filled with more rage, because apparently the Goshintai to my Ujigami, and the Goshintai being the object that my Ujigami would visit in, like that little mirror that we were talking about, was stolen back in October. And this man didn't file a police report.
Oh, Jesus.
And this man, Reverend Barish, by the way, and may he rot in the deepest points of hell. As I said with my juice.
Uh-huh.
I need another shot of that.
Look at his
Mr.
butt. Look at his butt go.
Look, if Mr. Orange can get blitzed on Twitch approved rice juice, I can get blitzed on Twitch approved honey juice. So also
the
record
motherfucking
scratch.
JoJo's reference. For the record, what? Sorry?
The record scratch was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So as we're there, as I'm reading this information presented to me in the server, I'm realizing that I am dealing with the fact that Reverend Barish, the head priest at the Tsubaki Grand Shrine, and also you should make that bloom.
The...
QuickTime events, endemic of that era.
I was listening to you and I was just like...
So,
Okay, continue.
Barish, in his infinite ignorance, upon finding out that it was stolen, not filing a police report, decides, I am going to remove the shrine, replace it with a statue to a completely different Ōkami, remove the guardian foxes from the shrine, and replace it with the guardians associated with Minozume, without any dedication rights, or even just demolishing what it was completely.
Oh.
This is why the Tsubaki Grand Shrine is not on that list, everyone, because they are a bunch of fuckers.
Yeah, and to add insult to injury, the buildings associated with the Inari Shrine that used to be on those grounds were moved elsewhere on the grounds and repurposed to a second different deity.
Mm-hmm.
And
And this divinity is the Mitama of Turtle Island!
yeah,
Where Master Roshi lives?
Oh, you wish. Turtle Island is America, North America, the continent of North America.
Oh. So where Master Roshi lives.
Yes. Moving on from that whole reference, we actually have to go into the blasphemy now.
so think about
Dang
that.
it, silence.
Think about that for a moment. It's one thing to enshrine a Japanese deity, right? A Japanese deity in a Japanese shrine that happens to be in Washington State, right? It is another thing for the vessel that sits in that shrine that deity inhabits to be
Dang it,
stolen
Quinn!
for the priest who cares for it to do jack squat and then pretend like nothing happened and make it all disappear. And it is a whole other level of messed up for him to take all of those goods, all of the buildings, everything that is very specific to that one god, and dedicate them as the shrine to his enshrinement along Japanese lines of the collective spirit of a colonized land.
Also, this is a hell of a backdrop to have this conversation with.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, Jesus God! More water!
Alright, who gave it to us?
God, I have to drink it all.
Xylets. 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 I have no intention to come back to Utah, but if you keep this up, I might.
I am hydrating. I'm hydrating.
So
Yeah.
let's just take
A
a brief.
natural 20!
Oh my god, we're gonna drown.
Cousin! Oh, Nairi's cousin.
Yeah, Fortnite, we're about to get down.
Silence!
Chug
Damn
chugging.
it.
Right. Oh my fucking Christ and Jeebus and garlic farmer god.
Sweet garlicky Jesus.
Big butter Jesus. As you can tell, folks, I am definitely enjoying the Twitch approved juice.
Yeah, so honestly, garlic, yes, please, sweet, Jesus, garlic farming Christ.
Monkey 2, the sequel to Monkey.
But like,
Yeah, body break. Yes.
fucking, it's not even just the fact that he's done this. It's the fact that he got away with it while
He did.
being a unlicensed priest, and a priest only on a technicality, where he teaches Aikido in the shrine.
Ooh.
Yeah, imagine like in a church, right? Like on the altar.
Oh
Putting
Jesus
it-
H. God Christ and garlic. Sorry, please go ahead.
Imagine like in a church on the altar setting up your exercise equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Like really, please.
It's okay. It's okay. We enjoy being hydrated. We love it.
Yes, we love it.
I can see why some Twitch streamers have sippy water at 1,000 channel points.
Actually, I got a question. How long are we going with this stream, by the by?
I was thinking that we'll just get this chest and wrap up because it's getting pretty close to. Uh-oh, I didn't pay attention to what he needed me to do.
Oh, draw circles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, water lily. So there you go.
I also adore that Amaterasu's shadow is just a swoosh of ink. Very good.
Yeah. But, like... and Xylitz and I were both raised LDS, okay? And there is the context of, like, our churches have gymnasiums in them.
Yeah.
But this would be like holding sport in the chapel. Okay? It's not right.
I would watch American football if it happened in a cathedral. Like,
Same.
American football could be a lot more interesting if it just changed the map once in a while.
But that's kind of the thing. Like, this is the level of sacrilege and flagrant disregard.
And because for many decades there was literally no other Shinto shrine in the continental United States, you know, there was nobody to say anything.
Mm-hmm. But now we are in a position where we can actually talk about shrines that are not only in, like, Hawaii, but also starting to get established in, like, California.
Yeah, there's one in California. There's one in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's on private land, and you know the priest Kanawa Sensei, you have to contact her before you go. You can't just like show up.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like I hesitate to count it readily, but like it's there too.
And not only that, with the proliferation of also Konko shrines across the United States, well, Konko churches.
Yeah, Yeah, there are other people now.
Mhm. And honestly, I think this is a good place to also stop our conversation because we are wrapping up the stream.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Anyway,
I've just saved, and
Excellent.
we are going to be coming back to this one on Wednesday.
Yes.
Oh, I hit the wrong exit game button. That was the in-game menu. This one's the...
return to title.
Yep, there we go. I know how to operate this video game. I've got so many hours of forklift and video game experience. Except not the first one. The first one was a lie.
But
So, yeah. So that was
this
the stream.
That was the stream, and I hope you all had fun, and I hope you all learned some things as well, because, I... Silence.
Silence, please have mercy.
Brayden, Jax.
Damn it, Jax!
That's good water.
Uh,
So, folks, if terrible, it's funny when I do it.
uh,
So, wow, I see a few folks in here that are not necessarily following us, and hey, if you've enjoyed it, if you've enjoyed this stream, we would love to have you following us. So,
yes.
if you would like to see us stream some more, then hey, hit that follow button. We would love to have you following the channel and hanging out with us more often. And if you want to see where else we're at on the internet, you can check out more Girl Stream Team stuff at these links. Good night, Paula. And if you want to help the channel out as well, if you're already following, best thing you can do is drop our link to someone else and say, hey, I think you might like this. They have badgered us endlessly to to get us to follow you, so the least I can do is drop you a link, I guess.
On top of this, if you want to follow me anywhere, please feel free to follow me under any of these link trees. I am again the team resident poet. And what is Nairi's bot command?
I forgot to set one up. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Nairi has
Okay,
covered
so-
with her link tree.
So, Linktree is over there. Linkter.ee/Riverside Wings. I am going to be up, well, today at this point, because it's after midnight here on the East Coast. I am going to be back today at 3 p.m. Eastern Time with another gaming and historical banter, in which, if you are unfamiliar, what I do is I play a video game that is somehow relevant to Japanese culture or history, even recent history, and I do a running commentary, and we talk about all kinds of things, everything from the Imperial Order to
The
toxic
Imperial Odor.
masculinity and toxic masculinity in the construction of armor to reclaiming the good from queer trauma. So that's tomorrow, and on Thursday I will be doing my podcast recording stream. My podcast is Friday Night History, and to link that specifically, Friday Night History, I am doing a two-parter to close out season 1 of my podcast, where I am talking about the lesser-known Northern Emperor that was a claimant during the Japanese Civil War of 1868. So in the meantime, we will look forward to seeing you right back here on Wednesday.
Okay,
That
well,
said,
let's close this out with our usual button phrases. Cora, you go first.
well, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, and those of us who know better, take my advice, take off your pants and slide on the ice.
Neat. Okay. Nairi?
Button phrases?
You know what you say at the end of your stream.
Oh, okay. Folks, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support, your love, your subscriptions, your patronage of myself and my dear friends. And until next time, who you are and what lights your fire is worth fighting for. I'll see you around.
Okay, now for my button phrase. Mwah.